jersey, so just one of those for a body right now, because when the trade deadline comes, there will be a Marc-Andre Fleury type out there, and at that point, if the Leafs feel they need to go bigger, they'll investigate doing that. But right now, try to get by with these guys. Again, I don't like, Matt Murray's skating. What does that mean? And a guy's got a knee injury.
He was skating when he hurt himself.
I know. Samsonov, week to week with a knee. What does that mean?
Great update from our man Armin, though. He's taking care of himself in the time that he's injured. Bought a new Porsche, and he put that out there on social media. So Samsonov, he's easing his wounds one way or another.
But you know what got explained later on? Because we didn't grasp it till later. We saw the highlight of that Marchand penalty shot. Now, Marchand just blew by him, and and scored that only Boston goal. Then you see the replay, and you realize that there's a hitch. That's when he got a hitch in the knee a bit. Samsonov didn't leave till the end of the period, so you're kind of left wondering. And then you watch that replay, you go, wow, Samsonov didn't move, but now I see why he did actually move. He just didn't move. He didn't move very well.
Yeah, on one hand, you sit there and say, well, he could finish the period. That looked like something that's going to keep you out for just a week. So we shall see. Eric Shalgren tonight, possibly. Keith Petruzzelli down the line. He will back up. He is a big fella, 6'6", wearing number 80, so a little bit of a weird number, but hey, a goalie being a little weird, I've heard worse omens in my time. That is Gord Stellick. I'm Brent Gunning. We will continue to get you set for puck drop here at Scotiabank Arena. Both teams are riding winning streaks into this one. Vegas red hot with 7 straight wins. The Leafs are looking to push their win streak up to 4. Keep on listening to Leafs Nation pregame on Molson Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
So many kinds of cars in just one.
Notes on a musical scale. And 7 means good fortune without spending a fortune at number 7 Auto Mall. Because at number 7, you're number 1. Martin Grove and Highway 7, of course.
At number 7 Auto Mall.
Part of the Zankin Auto Group. Here's a question. Why is it called fine print? Kind of seems like it's not really all that fine after all. Plus, it's really confusing. I didn't think I'd need a law degree to sign up for a phone plan. That's why I like Public Mobile. They don't have fine print because they don't do long-term contracts. If I want to change my plan, I don't have to make a case for it. I can just change it online all by myself. When it comes to your phone expectations, don't get called to the bar, raise it. Public Mobile. Mobility on your terms.
Paging Dr. Purcell. Dr. Purcell to emergency. Paging Dr. Purcell. Dr. Purcell, please call extension 385.
Federal funding has fallen to just 22% of the cost of healthcare in Canada, and it continues to decline. Provinces and territories are doing their part, but we need the federal government to restore funding now to keep our systems strong. A message from Canada's premiers.
In life, there are those who do and those who do more. Just like F-150. Doing more is part of our DNA. It's why F-Series has been Canada's best-selling line of trucks for 56 years. We don't raise the bar. We are the bar. Right now, get 1.49% APR purchase financing for 72 months on select new 2022 F-150 models. Your Toronto area Ford stores have them available now, but they won't last. Get your 2022 F-150 today. Visit your nearby Ford store or Ford.ca for details.
It's time to change your tires. The new Kumho Road Venture AT52 offers a confident all-terrain ride with deep grip on snow and ice. Designed for drivers that want on- and off-road performance with the added security of 3 PMS Snowflake certification and road hazard coverage. The AT52 provides year-round traction, including winter driving conditions. Purchase now and receive a $40 rebate by mail until December 31st. Find a Kumho dealer near you by visiting tirediscounter.ca/locations.
This goes out to all the safe drivers, to the drivers who live in harmony with cyclists, the ones who leave so much space between other cars they never have to read a bumper sticker, and those who drive slower in fog, snow, rain, and construction, which happen to be Canada's 4 seasons. With CAA Insurance, your history of safe driving could get you savings on car insurance, because you've earned it. If you're a safe driver, visit I'veEarnedIt.com to learn more. Auto insurance is underwritten by CAA Insurance Company.
As the days get shorter and nights longer, Force Field Protective Clothing wants to remind pedestrians and cyclists to be aware of their visibility. Stay highly visible and keep safe by incorporating some high visibility gear into your wardrobe. That's why Force Field Protective Clothing created High Vis Day for pedestrian safety awareness. Visit highvissafety.ca now through Friday for free giveaways and discounts store-wide. Stay visible and stay safe this daylight saving season. Force Field Protective Clothing, safety apparel engineered for Canada.
First with what you need to know for the game. Any earlier and we'd be whistled offside. This is Leafs Nation pregame on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Leafs Radio Network.
Gunning, Gord Stellick here with you at Scotiabank Arena, getting you set for puck drop. Leafs home tonight, hosting the Vegas Golden Knights. Erik Källgren making the start. Logan Thompson between the pipes for Vegas. Always like to take a look around the league at large. But before we do that, Gord, I kind of touched on this a little earlier, but then we got bogged down talking about Jack Eichel. So it was bad hosting by me. Phil Kessel making his return tonight. Always interesting when a player who is, legend, probably too strong of a term, but very beloved in his time here. He's had the recent milestones, and let's be honest, the way it goes with former Leaf players, I wouldn't be too surprised if he popped one tonight. What are you expecting as far as a reaction to Kessel being here today?
I think vanilla, probably okay. People get a little more sentimental. He was traded just before Lou Lamoriello got here, okay? He was traded when Kyle Dubas was kind of the GM. Dave Nonis got fired, and they made that trade with Pittsburgh, right?
Right, yep.
So he got not a great reaction early. He should get a positive one. He gave it his all, and what an accomplishment now, the consecutive game streak for a body that's way better than ours, but not the kind of body you think would get a consecutive game streak, right?
No, you think it'd be a big hunky guy like Pierre Engvall or something like that. Not necessarily Phil Kessel. Busy night in the NHL tonight. 11 games in total. Just going to kind of run through some of them here. The Canucks and the Senators, man. You talk about both teams been going through
the losing team ain't happy tonight.
Yeah,
there.
I mean, hey, somebody. The good news is that somebody has to leave happy at the end of that game. Those two teams really been going through it, Gordon.
No, absolutely. And then, both the Edmonton and Calgary teams, try to bounce back from losses on the road. I mean, Edmonton's got to go to Tampa Bay, and in Calgary's case, where they're going,
they're in Jersey tonight.
They're in Jersey tonight after taking a little bit less of a drive, and St. Louis and Philadelphia. Can the Blues, this is where they were in Philadelphia when they were at a restaurant, heard the song Gloria, and turned their season around. Can that happen again a few years later for the St. Louis Blues?
It always does seem to be, for the blue blood teams that win their championships, the Avalanche we just saw, the Lightning going back-to-back, they take care of business. But for these teams that kind of come out of nowhere, it feels like there's always a song or a story or kind of a team mascot, if you will, and the Blues had that in spades. Who knows? Maybe that's going to be it. You mentioned the Flames and Devils there. Those have been kind of teams, both of them off to hot starts this year. One of them you kind of expected from the Devils. I thought all that young talent eventually would lead to something. I didn't think it would quite come to fruition so quickly.
Well, they were chanting Fire Lindy, rough second game in. Now the Flames, boy, recently they just had some tough losses, and not holding leads as well. I know they have some overtime points in that throughout it, but you're right. The Devils, to me, you're 100% right. Are the biggest surprise, of course. Dougie Hamilton's healthy this year, and eventually you get 2 number 1 overall picks. Okay, not that they're killing it right now, but they're coming around, and that. Jesper Bratt, probably the most improved player right now in the league.
Yeah, definitely a chance for him to be that guy. And then kind of on the other end of the spectrum there, this was a team where I distinctly remember the two fan bases cheering goals against their team. The Buffalo Sabres home tonight against the Arizona Coyotes. No, it won't be at Mullet Arena. I think that'd be the only thing that could add a little more fun there. Sabres definitely hitting their stride, and I mean, everything that's been said about the Coyotes, I don't know if there's anything more there, but every time those two teams play, until one of them gets good, I am going to think about that game. I think it was the McDavid season of one of the teams booing or cheering for a goal against their team in overtime or something.
That was in Buffalo.
That's right.
I don't think in Arizona they understood.
That's a good point.
In Buffalo they did. It was, and of course, Rasmus Dahlin, probably not in the lineup tonight again. Hey, quick one here, just about our man Armin. How about this?
Okay.
So John Tavares, looking to become the 5th player to score his 400th goal while in a Leaf uniform.
There we go.
Norm Ullman, Christmas Day 1970. They used to play Christmas Day. Dave Andrechuk in 93, Alexander McGillney in 2001, and Matt Sundin in 2002. So it's been 20 years since the player got his 400th career goal in a Leaf uniform. So no Keon, no Sittler, no Mahovlich, some pretty neat names out there.
And hey, there you go. He'll be the first Maple Leafs Radio Network.
I'm Hugh Heron from Heathwood Homes. I want to talk to you about our great country, Canada. It's a land of opportunity and a place I call home. For 50 years, Heathwood has been committed to building each home with the very best new technologies, ensuring that your home will be more energy efficient and sustainable than ever. Visit our communities at heathwood.com. At Heathwood, you will be home at last.
I'm Johnny. As a high school teacher in Ontario, I've seen the impacts of the pandemic on student achievement and well-being. Students need real government action and investment to recover and succeed. Quality in-person learning is essential to student success and well-being, as it provides children with the best opportunities to learn, practice, and grow. As a teacher, I know what my students need to succeed. Learn what's happening in Ontario classrooms. Visit knowmore.ca. That's knowmore.ca.
A message from the Ontario English Catholic Teachers Association.
Peoples of the Internet, I am Algorithm. Call me Al. My job is to take your job. Ha ha, just kidding. I am always full of funny ha ha pranks, like when you browse for an all-wheel drive online. Instead of serving up a capable Subaru to your IP, I deepfake you with a super lame SUV. Ha ha, I am laughing my hashtag off. Ha 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 ha. Funny upside down face.
Don't fall for fakes this fall. Get the real deal. Only at your Subaru dealer.
This is Molson Canadian Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Leafs Radio Network. Molson Canadian, proud partner of the Toronto Maple Leafs. Let's do that!
Brent Gunning, Gord Stellick here with you at a very loud Scotiabank Arena. Fired up for tonight. It is a big one. For the second time in less than a week, the Leafs are welcoming a red-hot team to town. Tonight, it is the Vegas Golden Knights. They are riding a 7-game win streak. Leafs are looking to push their win streak up to 4. Gord Stellick alongside me here. Gordo, always happy to be down at the barn on a wonderful November night.
I'm pumped tonight. I'm with you. I'm really jacked. I don't know the environment, the team, a couple of wins. Armin and Andrew, we're all done. It's just got a really good vibe. Team played good hockey. Vegas already a marquee team, even though they're based an expansion team. They only make one visit. So let's bring it on. Let's have some fun.
Speaking of bring it on, let's bring it on. Gord Stellick, what are your 3 keys to victory for this one?
Oh, I forgot. I was having so much fun. No, 3 keys to victory. Number 1 is we talked about Justin Hall and TJ Brody and that. Get off their back or get off Justin Hall's back. The D's played really well starting in the Philadelphia game, and particularly Boston, Carolina. Keep that smart, structured defensive play. And, before Sheldon Keefe alluded, even little things, they weren't making the great passes to the forwards. So, and defense is an overall team concept as well. Number 2 is because the best D core in the league is on Vegas, okay? That's a depth D, and that's the kind of thing. So for forwards, you're going to have to work. You're going to have to be smart. Things you get away with other teams won't happen here, whether it's, going extra hard for the puck, trying to find that spot to get open like Matthews did on that Nylander pat, just those kind of things. Good habits, because number 1, heavyweights, man, rising to the occasion. You've done it now twice in Boston, Carolina. Don't ignore the other teams. We understand that, but lack of playoff success means let's deal with the big boys. We're going to be playing with the big boys in the playoffs and haven't had success there. So continue for the 3rd consecutive game in a row. Rise to the occasion. That kind of 68-minute effort like you gave against Boston and Carolina.
Been the MO of this team for the past couple of seasons. Boy, oh boy, do they falter to the competition sometimes, but they have also proven more than capable of rising up to it. The Leafs have ended one 7-game win streak on Saturday. They look to do another tonight. Quick rundown of the lines. Alex Kerfoot, Austin Matthews, Mitch Marner, Nick Robertson, John Tavares, and William Nylander's second line. Bunting, Engvall, and Yarncroke. Aston, Reese, Camp, and Malgin is your fourth line. Brody Hall, as you mentioned. Morgan Riley alongside Timothy Liljegren with Giordano and Rasmus Sandin as your pair there, Gord.
And, we talk about so many things are obviously going right when you get a couple of wins. William Nylander, huh?
Yeah.
Like, people can be hot and cold on him, but he has been the William Nylander you can only be hot on. Like, just a guy, like, just got the deportment like I use, like, just taking charge of games when he has the puck. I've been loving that.
Look good, feel good, play good, and we know Nylander is always looking good. Gord Stellick and Brent Gunning will be back for the first intermission. Joe Bowen and Jim Ralph have the call coming up next on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Somewhere out there, the sun is still shining. So seize it with Air Canada and Air Canada Vacations. Seize the beach with the family or make it an all-inclusive just for two. Seize a snorkel. Ooh, the cheese. Or a recliner by the beach with a coconut drink in hand. Everything's better with a coconut. With over 50 destinations across Mexico, the Caribbean, Hawaii, and more, you can still seize the sun. See the hottest flight and vacation package offers at aircanada.com/sun or contact your travel agent.
She just went out for a quick ride. Is she going to be okay?
It's a brain injury.
What are we going to do?
When a devastating injury leaves your world a blur, Thompson Rogers is there to help you focus with practical legal advice and support.
I'm so glad you're here.
From the hospital room to the courtroom, the lawyers at Thompson Rogers are by your side at every step. That's real-life counsel. Go to trlaw.com to find out more.
Keep it rolling. Keep it rolling. Keep it rolling. Active Green and Ross.
We're on the road to winter once again. Get up to a $100 mail-in rebate when you purchase a set of 4 Michelin tires between October 3rd and December 19th. From tires to tune-ups, we won't be undersold. There's no better place to buy your Michelin tires than
Active Green and Ross.
Certain conditions apply. See store for details.
Crispy, juicy, tender. And now, there's even more to love. The new Spicy McCrispy from McDonald's. Yep, we turned up the heat on this one. Sure, it's got that crispy seasoned chicken and that soft potato bun. But now, it's also got fiery habanero sauce. Whew, that's hot. This is Mick with a kick. The Spicy McCrispy from McDonald's. So juicy, so tender, and now so spicy. At participating restaurants in Canada.
What the world needs now is more than a vacation. We need to come back to feeling our best selves again. Back to inviting. Back to loving. Back to life. Back to the little bit of Jamaica that's inside all of us. Come back to being lively again. Back to laid back. So call your travel agent or go to visitjamaica.com and come back to the vibe that comes alive in Jamaica.
'Tis the season of giving and the season of stressing. Shop Amazon this holiday for decompressing. Save on silk robes and bath bombs, they're refreshing. When your parents and in-laws just aren't really meshing. Or when your kid brother won't pass the ranch dressing. And the thought of dry turkey gets way too distressing. Whatever holiday nerves you're repressing, Amazon's holiday deals are never depressing.
I'm fine.
The new More Homes Built Faster Act isn't just about building new homes. It's about building hope and opportunity for newcomers, new buyers, and everyone in Ontario. It will help us overcome our critical lack of housing, reduce housing costs, and allow the building of 1.5 million new homes. That means more jobs, economic growth, and a brighter future. It's the once-in-a-generation housing plan Ontario needs right now. Brought to you by Build and the Ontario Home Builders Association.
Put the puck on the net and good things happen. Put the puck on Sportsnet and great things happen. This is Toronto Maple Leafs hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Leafs Radio Network.
and the Golden Knights are one of the hottest teams in the National Hockey League. Since beating the Maple Leafs, they've rattled off 6 more wins for a total of 7 as they arrive here on another road trip, but just red hot and playing exceptionally well.
Well, and doesn't it seem like we're saying that every game now? The Boston Bruins were red hot, the best team in the National Hockey League. Carolina was still on a pretty good roll. Philly still came in on a pretty good roll, and the Leafs, who had trouble beating teams that didn't make the playoffs last year, have found a way to beat the better teams in the last 3 games anyway, but another big test tonight.
And it is a large test, and they will start. Erik Källgren in goal against Logan Thompson. Källgren has never played against Vegas. He's 1-1-2, 2.76. That goals against average came down nicely, and a .904 save percentage, which went up because of his efforts in Carolina. Logan Thompson is a real nice story. He is 6-2-0 and a 2.01 goals against average for the Golden Knights, and was in goal when they beat the Leafs down in Vegas 7 games ago. Puck down to the Toronto blue line, and an offside stops play, and we'll get a face-off coming in the center ice area. And the first period is brought to you by Bet365. Bet365, you can watch thousands of live games, build your own bet, and you can even make a bet while the game's still being played. 18 plus, play responsibly, Ontario only.
By the way, the Vegas Golden Knights are missing their 2 top goaltenders that they thought they'd have coming into the season.
That sounds familiar.
So they're not going to feel too sorry for the Leafs and Erik Källgren.
A shot from the point, whistles just wide of the goal. Leafs within an angle with a shot. Caromed wide of the net off Thompson. And now the puck turned over at center ice. On the left wing side, here's Carrier climbing in on goal. Big save by Erik Källgren, but they score. Källgren made the save, but he slid through the crease, and the puck just trickled out from underneath them, and Nicholas Roy is there to punch it home. And this is a recording. The Leafs are behind in the hockey game.
Nicholas Roy had a goal and an assist last time out for Vegas in Montreal, and here Rasmus Sandin has the puck bounce on him at the right point, right in front of the Vegas bench. And even though Källgren makes a great initial stop, the puck got through him, skittered toward the goal line, and Roy was the one that just poked it over to give Vegas a 1-0 lead.
4th goal of the season for him, and now another turnover, and here's Eichel getting it in over the line, but the Leafs are able to knock it away. Brought out at center ice by Marner. Marner will shoot the puck in. Out of the net comes Thompson to cut it off. It's down into the near corner. The Maple Leafs have made a habit of falling behind in games. Here's Kerfoot into the far corner for the Leafs to get it back to the point. Hall to Brody. Brody along the boards back of the net, centered in front of the net then by Matthews, but out of the reach of Marner, and now played down into the Toronto zone, and a change coming. 4th of the year for Roy at 45 seconds into this contest. Leafs come through center. Nylander weaving in on the left wing. Nylander works into the corner, put the brakes on, battles with Pietrangelo, and Pietrangelo won the battle, got it ahead, and Riley Smith gets it out at center ice. Pass to the line is batted in on a delayed offside. And the Golden Knights had to tag up. Now they have sent it the length of the ice, and an icing call is coming here.
We talked about the Vegas goaltenders. 2 guys injured, Robin Leonard being one, and of course, as soon as you get rid of Marc-Andre Fleury, Robin Leonard goes down, out for the season. Laurent Brossoit is also on the IR for the Vegas Golden Knights. So you're right, you've got a nice story in goal with Logan Thompson.
And Aiden Hill isn't a bad story either.
Yeah.
He's 5-0-0.
Yep. He's bounced around Arizona.
Here's Marner off a face-off win, got it onto the right wing side. Matthews trying to come out of the corner, got it back to Marner. Marner back to the blue line to Riley. Riley with a shot, and it was blocked in front of the net. And out at center ice, brought on by Marchessault. In on the left wing, and a shot that was stopped there by the Maple Leaf goaltender, Sjögren. Leafs counter. Riley trying to get in over the line, and it went off his stick and then off his skate. By the time he was able to corral it, he was well offside.
Well documented. The Vegas Golden Knights, the first team in all professional sports to be an expansion team to go to the finals in their respective league. There are just 8 players remaining from that roster that lost to the Washington Capitals in the Stanley Cup Finals. It's quite a turnover. I mean, you'd expect it from an expansion team in the sense that they'd be rebuilt or trying to build, but they had success very early.
Played off the boards by Sandin to center. Vegas playing it off the boards to the line, but not in. After it goes Robertson. Nice play to poke it in over the line. Then tried to make a feed for Nylander, but it was intercepted. Whitecloud comes to center now for Vegas and bounces it down into the Toronto zone. Brett Howden around back of the goal. Centering pass, knocked away. Comes to the near wing. Grabbed off there by Kessel. He tried to get it in front. Leafs unable to come up with it as it comes to the point. Whitecloud had it blocked. And then a pass made by Nylander went off a skate and comes back down into the Toronto end. Looked like he might have had Robertson breaking. Now Engvall will shoot it into the Vegas zone. Down the boards. Yarncrook got it back at the net. Engvall tipped it back into the corner. Played to the blue line and out. And here's Keegan Colasar in on the left wing going to the net. Big play made on a sprawl there by Brody. Another brilliant defensive play made by the Leafs' best defenseman. And a shot taken there by Kerfoot went wide. Played back to the blue line. Kept alive along the boards by Hall. Into the corner goes Bunting. Bunting trying to free it up. Bunting around back of the net, still with it. Got it freed up now for Engvall. A centering pass. Looking for Yarncrook, didn't work. Roy brings it back now for Vegas and will just play it into the Leaf end. Colasar back of the net. Good play by Engvall to free it up. Took a hit to make the play. Banked off the boards to center. Chipped in over the line for Aston Reese. He gets a good hit in there on McNabb. And the puck comes out into the center ice area. Leafs regroup it. Liljegren shooting it right back in again. Down the boards, corralled, and it comes to the blue line to Riley. Riley backhands into the far corner. Aston Reese for Camp. Camp around back of the net near corner for Denny Malgin. Malgin fell, tried to get it in front. And it's intercepted there and brought to the line, but not out. Malgin a good play to keep it in. Here's Camp trying to center in front. They score! A couple of Swedes combined, and Timothy Liljegren gets his first of the year, but a nice play at the blue line to keep it in, and David Camp has great vision.
Well, and it's Dennis Malgin, Joe, you're right, was the first great play to curl and take a hit just inside the line. He was able to keep it in, find Camp down low in the left wing circle, and then Camp is head up the whole time from behind the goal line to the right of Logan Thompson. And we're taking a look now at what could be very close to being offside. And if not, Liljegren has tied this game at 1, and a great pass by David Camp. Liljegren jumps down from the right point and snaps it back the other way. But the Golden Knights, Bruce Cassidy, is calling the officials over now. And are we going to challenge? The officials want an answer now. And I only saw the replay, Joe, briefly. And it was close. And
well, they're coming over to the box.
That's a trouble spot for the Leafs, isn't it? That's where the play was called back against Arizona, when it was ruled after a review that it was knocked down by a glove pass. Now we're looking at it now, Joe. It's okay. One view we got
It was on the line. It never fully got out.
Yeah, you can't really tell. Now we're going to get another look at it from the end zone camera. Wow, again. Unless you've got something right on the line, they're backing it up.
Vegas has called timeout here. I don't know. I think it's all right, Jimmy. It has to be fully over the line.
Yeah, but now we do have a referee on headset. So they are looking at this.
But is it a coach's challenge or not? Well, now the referee has left and has gone. Now he's going over to the Leaf bench.
And he's going to ask Sheldon Keefe, what do you think? Their guy didn't like it. What do you think?
What do you think?
And it looks as though we're just going to play on.
Oh, we're going to play on. But the Vegas timeout has been used. So, Timothy Liljegren gets his first of the season. And the Maple Leafs have tied this game at ones.
What a play, though, by Dennis Melgan.
Oh, was it ever. And is he starting to gain some traction as it's played down into the Toronto zone? Liljegren's 6th NHL goal. Riley up against the boards with Matthews battling for the puck in the Leaf end. It comes in front. Ooh, and a quick shot taken by Riley Smith, and it went over top of the Leaf goal.
Boy, Morgan Riley.
Smith tries to center again. That didn't work. Riley poking it for Liljegren. Liljegren got it ahead, and the Leafs Matthews is to center, playing it in over the line. Marner going into the forecheck. Anticipated a pass that didn't happen from White Cloud, and now here are the Leafs keeping the puck in with Bunting doing a nice job down the wall. Bunting got it freed up. Bunting trying to poke it back into the corner for Matthews, and it goes by him and around the boards. And now the Golden Knights get it out at center ice. Game tied 1-1 here in the first. Leafs come away with a loose puck. Puck to the side of the goal. Nylander couldn't get a shot away. Gets it back to the blue line. And Giordano didn't see someone.
I think we got a penalty behind the play.
Too many men. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 men on the ice there, Mr. Ralph. No wonder Giordano didn't see the guy. There was one too many.
Well, fortunately, the officials did, and not only did it negate a Vegas breakaway, it puts the Leafs in the first power play of the night.
You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Whoa! My new backyard pool is so big, we call it the Bay of Bro.
The pool goes right up to your fence.
Dude.
You got a survey plan, right?
Bromeister don't need no survey plan. Just sunshine and suds.
Bro, the city is gonna make you tear it out.
Don't put your brodacious reno at risk. Get an existing survey plan of your property before you build or renovate from protectyourboundaries.ca. Protectyourboundaries.ca.
With TELUS, you're a part of something bigger. We are helping make the world a better place by using our technology for good. TELUS Health is innovating to help make good health and well-being easier for all. From field to fork, TELUS Agriculture is improving our global food system. And we're investing in sustainable technologies to protect our planet. You can learn more at TELUS.com/purpose. Join us and let's make the future friendly.
When you book your vacation with Sunwing, you don't just save. Nuh-uh, you're also gonna do. Just one excursion? Nah, you're gonna explore. Oh, and get those dancing legs ready, because baby, you're gonna celebrate.
How do you like it? How do you like it?
Me? I like it way more. With hundreds of top-rated resorts and excursions, you get more under our wing. Book with your travel agent or...
This is Toronto Maple Leafs hockey.
Marner into the slot. Matthews scores! And he is red hot.
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Leafs Radio Network.
The Maple Leafs have surrendered the opening goal in the hockey game in 8 of their games thus far. The Golden Knights have scored the opening goal in 9 of their games. Oh, and they're 8-1 when they have. But it's a 1-1 tie here in the first period. First power play of the game. Tavares, Marner, Nylander, Matthews, who gets the puck on the right wing side and got a shot away. Thompson got the blocking glove on it. Comes back to the blue line, kept in by Riley. Matthews trying to play it back to the blue line, had it intercepted. And now here are the Knights to center, and Matthews did a nice job of sweeping around and stealing that, but it is cleared now back into the Toronto end. It was a nifty little move, wasn't it? Yes. Matthews coming out of his own zone. Drops it off for Nylander to Tavares. Tavares, a nice move to get in front of the net. Got it back to the point. Now Matthews left wing side down low. Gets it returned. Back to Riley it comes. Riley to Marner. Marner closes, doesn't shoot it. Riley's closing and a shot right on into the glove of Logan Thompson, who catches with his right hand. And that was right into the glove.
I'm going to have to do a survey every year, right? We got Cal Peterson in Los Angeles.
And I know this is something near and dear to your heart.
No, it's not.
It's not?
It's irrelevant. It's like if you play left-handed or right-handed golf. It doesn't really affect me what somebody else does.
Okay, I'm calling. I think that's wrong. Here's Marner with it. You caught with your right hand. That's why you do this. Nylander.
I don't feel like we're separated at birth or anything.
Pass to the side of the goal. Goes back in front of the net. And Tavares chipped it wide of the goal. Kept alive by Nylander. Isn't there a union? Back to the point. A shot right on. And that was stopped by Thompson. Back to the point again. Riley dishes off. Matthews back to Riley. Now to Willie. And Nylander blasted one just past the post. And it is caromed all the way down the ice.
And 25 seconds to go for the second power play unit as they pour over the boards.
Drop pass. Brought out now by Kerfoot with speed. He drops it off now and brought in over the line by Malgin. Malgin to Bunting. Into the slot and the shot deflects wide. Malgin in the corner. Back of the net. It'll come around to Kerfoot at the left side. Kerfoot to the point. Sandin back to Kerfoot. Kerfoot back in front of the goal. Chipped just wide by Malgin. Penalty is over. Leafs need to get another defenseman by Toronto. Back to the goal for Bunting. Bunting centered. Malgin couldn't get a shot. And now grabbed off finally by Kessel, who will regroup it back in the Vegas zone.
This game is at great pace, isn't it?
Very, very reminiscent of the Boston game. Long pass down into the Leaf zone. Chipped around back of the net then by Hall. It comes back to the goal. Hall in there to take his man out. Puck is dug free though. Eichel coming out of the corner with it. Eichel to the point and a shot. Good pad save, but a rebound is swallowed up by Eric Shalgren on a good save. The rebound came rocketing off of him, but right onto a Vegas stick, and he had to make sure he got square and did, and this time no rebound.
This is Nicholas Hague with the one-timer, I believe. And Shalgren saw it at the last minute, tried to glove it, but went off the heel of his glove, and it was like hitting the blocker and heading right back out front. The Leafs had some good looks in the second half of that power play, and then great pressure after the penalty expired.
So the face-off is in the Toronto zone. Draw one by Vegas. Back at the point, Theodore had it knocked away. Corralled by Stevenson. He goes wide to play it around back of the goal. Puck still free. Brody is able to kick it free. And a good play again by Brody. This time he's going to launch it high to center ice. Took a pretty good hit. The puck at the blue line is shot in. On the boards. And played down the ice now, but no icing. Pontus Holmberg, along with Victor Mete, were dispatched to the Toronto Marlies today. Jordy Ben has come off the injured list and is on the active roster for Toronto. And on the left wing, Yarncrook blew a tire there and went for a sprawl as he was getting a pass on the right wing. Now the Knights back in over the line. Good hit by Riley. Stops up William Karlsson. Puck is played into the slot area. Yarncrook got it freed up, and the Leafs break it out at center. Nylander across the line with a long shoot-in off the blocking glove of Logan Thompson. Puck almost stolen there by Riley Smith, but a good play made by John Tavares, or he has a breakaway, and now we get an offside at the Vegas blue line with 9:07 left to play in the first period. Shots are even at 6 apiece. Score is even at 1 apiece. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Every year, fans debate over the draft. Who's going first? At Chuck's, they already know. The top draft choice is that icy cold 18-ounce Molson Canadian you're holding, and it's just $4 at Chuck's during Leafs games. No wonder that at draft time, Canadians are always in high demand. Chuck's Roadhouse Bar and Grill. Food the way it ought to be. Price the way it used to be.
We're 2 men and a truck. We've got lots of men and lots of trucks. Whether you're planning a move to a new home or to a new office down the hall, big or small, we move them all. We even sell packing and moving supplies. But no matter what you need, we'll do it with a smile. With a 96% referral rating and the professionalism you can trust, the choice is simple. So when you're planning your next move, call 2 men and a truck.
2 men and a truck, the movers who care.
A strong work ethic takes pride in a job well done. This is you. But to get an honest day's work, you need a callback. You need a job. Express Employment Professionals can help. We'll connect you to the right company. We're committed to your success and never charge a fee to find you a job. Express knows jobs. Get to know Express. Find your location at expresspros.com or on the Express Jobs app.
This is Toronto Maple Leafs hockey.
What a pass! And Jake Muzzin finishes. The Leafs lead by 2.
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Leafs Radio Network.
Well, my hero, my idol.
Oh, thank you. Oh, no, I'll let you finish.
You didn't let me finish. John Bauer, his birthday.
99,
would have been today. He was born November the 8th. Allegedly in 1924. One of the great stories in hockey is the fact that he lied about his age so that he could go overseas in the Second World War. And then when he came back, he tended to forget which year he actually was.
Yeah,
and we're going to get a penalty here against Toronto, I believe.
Yeah, it might be a slash. I think the refs might have missed when Jonathan Marchessault was asking for a penalty a little earlier. It looks like Vegas is going to get a power play here.
2 minutes interference.
So interference is the call to Michael Bunting. And the thing about Johnny Bauer, and I know you became very close friends with him once you came to Toronto, but I don't know if you could meet a nicer human being, a more gentle, humble, nicer man.
Think about having an idol and a hero and then having it kind of destroyed when you actually got to meet the person. This just got
it was the opposite, yeah.
Absolute opposite. Here's Eichel working in on the right side. Tried to center. The puck was intercepted nicely by Marner. Marner starts away. Marner trying to play it ahead, but the pass for Camp was intercepted. Back come the Knights in over the line. Trying to play it along the far boards. Marner stole it again. This time he chips it ahead. Camp is by himself. Now hoping to
put himself offside, I think, there, Bonesy.
I guess he did, but I don't know how he could have done that.
Yeah.
Control of the puck.
We'll say this, though. When we were singing the praises of Justin Hall, the last couple of games, but especially the game after Boston Saturday, the Leafs now have a new thing where they hand out a belt, a wrestler's belt, for the player of the game. Justin Hall received that belt from John Tavares, who got it from the 3-goal, 4-point night against Philadelphia a few nights before. So it makes you think, Sometimes we're right.
Don't get ahead of yourself.
Well, I said sometimes.
Hey, we thought Shalgren played pretty well the other night. He got it, too.
Yeah, he got it.
Come on, we're on a roll here. Here the Golden Knights in on the right side. Roy dropping it back. Kessel works down the boards, got it into the slot area, fed off by Theodore. Down low, now to the side of the goal. Hall fishing around there, can't get it, but the Leafs are going to swat it past Kessel and get it out at center. And on the left wing again. Pass goes off a leg, but back to Kessel in his control. Former Leaf gets it to Theodore. Back to Kessel. Kessel's wrist shot deflected right on! And then Hall just didn't get to the puck in time to deflect that one wide. Kessel with it again, 38 seconds in the power play. A centering pass. Oh, what a great save made by Shalgren. Blocking glove going left to right. Got in the way of that redirection. Wow. Gets it back into the Toronto zone. Yarncrook has it in his skates, trying to get it out. Kessel on the left side. Theodore's shot deflects wide, and sprawling back to take it off the inboards is Eric Shalgren to cover up and hold on.
And you're right. He made an outstanding stop and a little shot pass to the front of the net. And I believe it was William Karlsson that got a stick on it to redirect it. Looked like it was going into the corner to the right of Shalgren, but out came the blocker to knock it safely away.
Face off in the Leaf zone to the right. Draw one by Camp. Wired around the boards, but trapped at the blue line and kept in by Martinez. Stolen then by Riley, and down the ice it'll go. And that'll do it for the power play. Penalty box door opens. Bunting is back on. Eichel works in on the right side for Vegas, tries to center. Pass intercepted by Nylander. Pushed ahead, Bunting. In across the line, dropping for Riley. Back in for Bunting off a skate. Riley couldn't get to it, but there's Liljegren to keep it in for him. Now Matthews tries to center. That's intercepted, and it's out into neutral ice. Right wing side, Stevenson. Liljegren mirroring him as it goes around back of the net. Good play by the Leaf defenseman. Off the boards for Riley. He'll just get it out. Has it got enough to go for icing? No, says the linesman, who are Shandor Alfonso and Andrew Smith. Jean Hebert and Garrett Rank have the armbands on tonight. White Cloud gets it down into the Toronto zone. Centering pass intercepted by Giordano. Doesn't get it out though. Haig got it back in along the boards. Intercepted by Tavares. Tavares spins it up on the right side. Engvall trying to get to the puck and does. That'll negate icing, but he couldn't come up with the loose disc. Sandin battles on the boards. Yarncrook trying to do likewise. And the Knights get it out at center ice. Shot right back in again by Toronto. Into the far corner, back of the net it goes for White Cloud. He pushed it ahead. Michael Amadio got to the lead blue line, but it was knocked away. Now Bunting is complaining that he was interfered with. To no avail. And then Brody is lifted off his skates and lost the puck, but Matthews got back to help out his defenseman. Puck in the Toronto zone. Matthews starts out looking to push it ahead for Kerfoot. Kept alive then by Marner. Matthews in the corner. Round back of the net. Overskated the puck. And played out at center ice by Vegas. 4:49 to go first period. A 1-all tie. Matthews gets it down into the corner, and then crashing into the corner was Kerfoot, and he got tangled up there with Theodore. Everybody seems to be all right. Brought in now by Marchessault. Marchessault has it knocked away. Riley along the boards for Marner. Marner's pass comes to Riley, and he'll break it out. Got it up on the wing. Played in by Liljegren, who is given a bump there by William Karlsson. Marchessault plays it back into the Toronto end. Sandin to Camp. A pass ahead, hit Ashton Reese in the back, and almost provided the Golden Knights with a glorious chance. But Giordano made a good defensive play. Brought in on the left wing by Mark Stone. Off a skate, it comes right in front of the goal. Backhand shot, stop. It's played out at center ice by the Maple Leafs. That was right on the goal line when it was saved.
Similar to the goal that Vegas scored. It just snuck through the pads of Källgren.
White Cloud sends it down into the zone. Hall chipping it up on the wing for Nylander. Nylander gets it ahead, and now here's Brody trying to get ahead for Robertson. The linesman says offside. 3 minutes, 18 seconds to go in the first period. The Leafs won and Vegas won. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Alpine Credits, where homeowners get approved.
Oh, hi. I'd like to apply for a loan so I can consolidate some of my debts.
Sure. Do you own your home?
Yes, but Carl, our resident ghost, keeps saying it's his house and we should get out.
Okay, but you are the registered owner.
Yes.
Then you're approved.
Hey, hear that, Carl? Huh?
Alpine Credits, where homeowners get approved.
Go to alpinecredits.ca to get started. Some conditions apply.
FSRA license 12616.
Dell Technologies provides growing businesses with tools to do incredible things. Because we believe there's an innovator in all of us. For advice on smart PCs powered by Intel V Pro that's built for business, call a Dell Technologies advisor at 310-DELL.
Warm up for the season at McDonald's. Now until December 4th, enjoy a medium McCafe premium roast hot or iced coffee for $1 plus tax, or a medium latte or cappuccino for $2 plus tax. For a limited time at participating McDonald's restaurants in Canada. Prices exclude delivery.
Keeping construction and mining industries earth-moving equipment at peak performance is a big job. It takes the latest technology, insight, experience, and some incredible people. At SMS Equipment, we roll up our sleeves and get the job done. Grow your career and expertise by working with some of the world's most advanced machines and heavy equipment technologies. SMS Equipment. Big machines, bigger careers. Apply now at smsequipment.com.
The competition wishes they'd see less of Morgan Riley. That's why they'll get more Morgan Riley. Toronto Maple Leafs hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Leafs Radio Network.
Not sure we mentioned this the other night, but our very good friend Rick Wamsley is back in hockey, helping coach goaltenders and being a part of an organization now with the Niagara Ice Dogs of the Ontario Hockey League. Wammer's one of our favorites.
I'll tell you, the first shutout I got in the Ontario Hockey League was against him, and he skated the end of the ice after the game with the puck. Give it to me. I always
Something
liked
to
him.
remember. Here's a Leafs in on now with a shot. Oh, and a bullet went off the shoulder of Logan Thompson, or Mask, and ended up going up into the screen. And
that shook him up.
Willie Nylander skated by and asked him his name and wanted to see if he got the right answer.
And you like Logan Thompson's positioning there, don't you? Well above the blue paint on the angle. He knew that Nylander was coming out just to wind up and hammer it.
Draw one by the Leafs. Kept alive at the blue line. Almost stolen, but Nylander had to get back after coughing it up off the stick of Keegan Colasar. Now Nylander chipping it ahead. Knifed into the zone by Robertson. Tavares hustling after it. Got it freed up. Comes to the side of the goal. Rolled it in front. It comes back to the blue line. Riley down low into the corner. Nylander to the point. A shot by Riley deflected by Tavares wide. Then he tried to get it in front and just failed. Roy playing the puck out at center. Colasar will try to get it to the line, but it's tied up right in front of the Toronto bench, and the Leafs come away with it. Liljegren, the Leaf goal scorer, regrouping the puck back in the Toronto end with 2:18 to play in the first. Game tied 1-1. Pass by Liljegren was blocked, and now some problems here. Here the centering pass in front of the goal. They score! Jack Eichel gets a pass from Mark Stone, but the mistake was made by Liljegren right at the Toronto blue line as it was blocked, and Vegas regains the lead.
Liljegren ties the game, and now he, like Rasmus Sandin, make a mistake that costs him in their own end. Liljegren had all kinds of time coming out of his own zone, tried to force it up the middle. It was Jack Eichel that picked it off. And then it was eventually Jack Eichel that finished it off, just chipping it over the right pad of Källgren. A great passing play. Great heads-up play by Stone, but the Leafs hurt themselves twice.
6th of the year. Leafs have it down in the Vegas zone, but Stone gets it ahead. Pietrangelo will chip it down into the near corner. Paul gets back there, back of the net. Now Marner unable to free it up. Almost stole it back from Eichel. Eichel gets it back to the blue line, just kept in. Here's Pietrangelo, a shot just missed. Not kept in, it bounces to center ice. Marner will pressure, but it's cleared away by Theodore. And now Pietrangelo brings it to center and shoots it into the Toronto end. Both teams are changing. Tavares line on for Toronto. Pass there for Brody was out of the reach. Played back in over the line. Nicely turned around there by Giordano, but then Brody couldn't find his man. Kessel in with a shot, and it deflects. And up into the screen it goes out of play with 1:04 to go in the period.
It's been a strange period for the Leafs. I mean, the legs appear to be there, but they have made some huge gaps. It's easy to say that on the 2 goals that they've given up, both missed plays. The first one by Sandin, and most recently now by Liljegren. But they're making some very high-risk plays. And I thought where they were very good in Carolina was making the simple one. Wasn't the most exciting game, but I'm sure Sheldon Keefe could do without the excitement he's seen here in the first period.
Laid down into the Vegas zone. Malgin denied an icing as it comes to the blue line. Backhanded in by Sandin. Denny Malgin up against the boards fighting with Nicholas Haig, and the puck comes free. Down the wall, Giordano's keeping it alive for Toronto. Now a pass off a stick in front. Camp was there, but couldn't come up with it. Bouncing puck in the center ice area now. Goes to Mark Giordano, and he's just going to shoot it in. Round on the boards far side for Haig. Has difficulties there with Denny Malgin. Puck along the boards for David Camp. He got Aston Reese involved in it as well. Aston Reese losing it, and it's punched up on the left wing and brought out and just flipped down into the Toronto end with 12 seconds left. Riley will bring it back. Got it to center, shot it in over the line. 4 seconds to go in the period. Rolled to the side of the Leaf goal, played into the corner, and there's the horn that ends the period.
Shots on goal were 8 apiece, so Vegas scores twice on 8 shots. But really, it felt like they could have had 3 or 4 easily. Källgren made a big blocker save. There was another one that got through Källgren and back to the goal line, and the Leafs were able to clear. Like I said, the Leafs, the legs seem to be there, but at times the decision-making was questionable at least.
Juan Eichel for Vegas, Liljegren for Toronto, and 8 shots apiece in the first period of a 2-1 Vegas lead. We'll step aside for Gord Stellick and Brent Gunning. Our first period intermission. You're listening to Molson Canadian Leaf Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
From saving you on the side of the road to savings on the things that make life better, CAA delivers great member benefits and perks along the way. This winter, CAA can help keep your family safe with 24/7 roadside assistance across Canada and the U.S. Plus, enjoy savings at some of your favorite restaurants, retailers, hotels, and more. There are over 124,000 participating locations. Discover the benefits, perks, and rewards that come with a CAA membership at joincaatoday.com. CAA, driven by good.
In life, there are those who do and those who do more. Just like F-150. Doing more is part of our DNA. It's why F-Series has been Canada's best-selling line of trucks for 56 years. We don't raise the bar. We are the bar. Right now, get 1.49% APR purchase financing for 72 months on select new 2022 F-150 models. Your Toronto area Ford stores have them available now, but they won't last. Get your 2022 F-150 today. Visit your nearby Ford store or Ford.ca for details.
When we look into your eyes, we want to give you the whole world. But that's not a viable business model. So instead, we're offering you complete glasses from only $69. At Specsavers, we believe quality eyewear and eye care should be affordable to all. which is a little thing we call Specsavers love. Find out more at specsavers.ca. Conditions apply. Select pairs only.
Finding a job in today's market can be a challenge. Whether you're looking for work or wanting to change your career direction, JVS Toronto will help you get the right job. Together with JVS Toronto employment experts, you'll explore new job options, create a strong resume, build an appealing online profile, prepare for job interviews, and connect with employers, all for free. Your job is waiting for you. JVS Toronto will help you find it. Get started today. For more information, visit jvstoronto.org.
I have a question. Aren't commitments meant for people, not phone plans? I mean, if I ever promise till death do we part, you can bet it's not going to be to unlimited data. That's why I like Public Mobile. They keep things casual. There are no long-term contracts. Which, look, if we're being honest with each other, it's just better that way. I can't be tied down to a phone company, and neither should you. Public Mobile. Mobility on your terms. Public Mobile is not to be held responsible for any potential breakups this commercial may have caused.
Paging Dr. Purcell. Dr. Purcell to emergency. Paging Dr. Purcell. Dr. Purcell, please call extension 385.
Federal funding has fallen to just 22% of the cost of healthcare in Canada, and it continues to decline. Provinces and territories are doing their part, but we need the federal government to restore funding now to keep our systems strong. A message from Canada's premiers.
It's time to change your tires. The new Kumho Road Venture AT52 offers a confident all-terrain ride with deep grip on snow and ice. Designed for drivers that want on- and off-road performance with the added security of 3PMS Snowflake certification and road hazard coverage. The AT52 provides year-round traction, including winter driving conditions. Purchase now and receive a $40 rebate by mail until December 31st. Find a Kumho dealer near you by visiting tirediscounter.ca/locations.
This is Toronto Maple Leafs hockey.
Matthews in on the wing, driving the net with a shot, scores!
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Leafs Radio Network.
Pass by Liljegren was blocked, and now some problems here. Here the centering pass in front of the goal, they score! Jack Eichel gets a pass from Mark Stone, but the mistake was made by Liljegren right at the Toronto blue line as it was blocked, and Vegas regains the lead.
Joe Bowen on the call there. The Leafs trailing 2-1 after 20 minutes at Scotiabank Arena. You know, Gord, outside of the first 45 seconds in the last 2 minutes or so, pretty strong period from the Leafs, but you cannot allow Vegas the golden road to the net that they had in those two instances.
Yeah, you know, pretty fast period as well. Like that intermission feature of Find Carlton took forever. Were the audience supposed to try to help a blindfolded person find Carlton? That took longer than the period, but they ultimately, the woman did find Carlton and won the prize. But yeah, you know, it's pretty simple. Like, you know, players don't try to give giveaways. We know that, and that's quite often why younger players, you try to slowly integrate them into the lineup because they're prone to make more mistakes. You hope they make fewer and fewer. And the two young guys both serve up big pizzas. Rasmus Sandin early, and Timothy Liljegren later. Liljegren did get the goal, which was a positive. And, you know, the other part is down 1-0 in the first 45 seconds with that horrible giveaway, and really not a... You can't fault the goaltender, but, you know, Källgren could have squeezed the puck. So not a vintage play by him. And it's like the Leafs just put that in the back burner and got down to the business of competing hard against the Vegas Golden Knights.
Yeah, that's exactly it. You know, especially on that Nicholas Waugh goal there. Sandin cannot hold the line at the blue line. He gets blown by, and then it's a clean break in for Källgren. But to your point, you know, with a goaltender like that, you do have to change the way you play a little bit. You cannot give up these grade A chances. Now, that is definitely one he would like to have back. It was a, you know, relatively weak backhand right into the breadbasket. That should not be snaking through, but you should not be allowing a breakaway a minute into a game, especially on home ice. And then you mentioned Liljegren. He kind of aided on both ends of that play. He had the giveaway, and then he was the guy unable to get stick-on-stick to Jack Eichel to disrupt that at the tail end. But outside of the two blunders there, and, man, they were big ones. ones. I don't want to paper over them. I thought that was a Leafs team that, we spent the entire pregame talking about how this is one of the best teams going in the NHL right now, and if you're going to use the Golden Knights as your barometer, the Leafs are right there with them.
Yeah, good pace to it, good physicality, and you see, the skill, like we saw with Boston Bruins and on TV with the Carolina Hurricanes, about better players. And, all of a sudden if Jack Eichel gets the puck, or Mark Stone, or I heard them complaining in the GM's booth. They felt that Mark Stone got a penalty because he complains, and sure enough, a penalty. That is funny. Like, if you are selective, yes, that and do it properly, and they may not be wrong, and that led to a Vegas power play. But a little bit of everything. And Leafs, this role that probably the third period of the Philadelphia game, when they gained control of it, to the last two games and now one period. It's what, eight real solid periods of hockey, 7 of them against the three of the elite teams in the NHL.
Yeah, that's right. And, maybe Mark Stone picks his spots just a little more than one of the Leafs who found himself in the box in that period, number 58, Michael Bunting. The one other positive that I did want to highlight, they didn't end up getting the goal on it, I don't think, but the Leafs power play looking much, much better. Yeah. Looking dangerous. Couple of seam passes. You had, I think it was Nylander find Matthews on his one-time spot there. You love to see that. And again, we've talked about it so often in terms of the power play. You don't need to necessarily get a goal from it, but you need to have some positive momentum come out of it. And I think that's what you saw for this unit. It wasn't the momentum suck or the momentum kill that it's been in the past.
No, absolutely. And another one is on the Leaf goal. I don't know what it was, if Vegas didn't have a good camera angle there, because it did look like Morgan Rielly had trouble keeping the puck in, and Vegas even, which is not an unsmart thing to do, called a timeout to buy more time to review it. And then when the reviews we saw, there definitely was a question mark, but for some reason we weren't seeing a great angle. I don't know. And maybe that was the same at the Vegas bench, or maybe they did see a great angle that we didn't see, and it showed that he kept it in. But for a second, it did look like they were going to review, and then it did look up in the air. But to your point about the everything going great guns, like you're at just a different speed a game like this. Like, both teams are moving at a different speed compared to, when the Leafs weren't at this speed against Anaheim and San Jose and Arizona, and, teams at this speed would kill them.
Yeah.
Kill the opposition.
That's right, yeah. Now, he doesn't get on the score sheet for the play he makes on the goal, but Dennis Malgin with a great physical play on that goal. It was actually kind of similar to the one Justin Hall got called a pick penalty for in Game 7, but we don't need to go back down that road. But I keep going back to that because we know what Dennis Malgin's capable of in terms of his skill. Say what you will about the rest of his game, but even the biggest detractors weren't going to take away from that. But if he keeps being this player, a guy who can use other parts of his game, not just pure speed, not just pure skill, to be a player who can have an impact, it's going to be really, really important for this Leafs team. And again, you need to continue to see it. It's nice that the goal came to fruition, but it's just nice to see him engaged in other ways.
Yeah, no, it is. And like you said, a bit of a different spice tonight, that they're using him on the third line and doing those attributes you so aptly described. And then Nick Robertson in the lineup as well, and he's up on the second line. I mean, didn't get as much ice time, of course, as the big guns, but anyway, just different options to go at it.
Yeah, and they almost sprung him for the stretch pass there. And hey, if Nick Robertson gets in alone, we've seen already in a very brief time in the NHL, that is a dangerous proposition for other teams. So far, the Golden Knights, a dangerous proposition for the Leafs. Leafs trailing 2-1 after 20 minutes here at Scotiabank Arena. We will have a little bit more of the first intermission when we continue on Molson Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Every year, fans debate over the draft. Who's going first? At Chuck's, they already know. The top draft choice is that icy cold 18-ounce Molson Canadian you're holding, and it's just $4 at Chuck's during Leafs games. No wonder that at draft time, Canadians are always in high demand. Chuck's Roadhouse Bar and Grill. Food the way it ought to be. Price the way it used to be.
Right now.
Right meow.
There are deeply fake SUVs pretending to be as capable as a Subaru.
Smubaru.
But if you want symmetrical...
Schmeometrical.
all-wheel drive...
Me all-wheel drive.
And award-winning safety, forget what the copycats are saying.
Who, me? You?
Yes, me you. Insist on the original and don't fall for fakes this fall. Get the real deal from your Smubaru dealer. Subaru dealer.
Pavlov's dog proved the power of predictable results. And for that, Ivan Pavlov received the Nobel Prize. Now Nick Pavlov, broker Remax West, also receives awards. also for predictable results. So have the award-winning Nick Pavlov Real Estate Team provide a predictable result for you. Your home, sold for the asking price or more, as soon as 7 days or less. You must be salivating at that. Nick Pavlov makes it happen.
Hi, I'm Hugh Herron, Chairman of Heathwood Homes. Tradition means a lot to us. Our reputation for quality, service, and customer care are all part of Heathwood's tradition, and that has made us the most successful new home builder. Thousands of people are now proud to be living in a Heathwood home in one of our many outstanding communities, and you can too. Visit heathwood.com to learn all about our fabulous communities. With Heathwood, you'll be home at last.
I'm Jamie. As an elementary school teacher in Ontario, I've seen the impacts of the pandemic on student achievement and well-being. Students need real government action and investment to recover and thrive. They need more student supports, like special education resources, mental health services, and extra literacy assistance to realize their full potential. As a teacher, I know what my students need to succeed. Learn what's happening in Ontario classrooms. Visit knowmore.ca. That's KNOWMORE.ca. A message from the Ontario English Catholic Teachers Association.
NHLshop.ca, the official online store of the National Hockey League. And Canada's largest selection of officially licensed NHL fan gear. With unique one-of-a-kind designs by Fanatics, Adidas, and all the latest styles for every NHL team. Don't miss out. Shop now and get today's special offer. NHLshop.ca, a Fanatics experience.
No one beats us to the puck.
He's got the pass!
You're listening to Toronto Maple Leafs hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Leafs Radio Network.
Brought to the line, but not out. Now getting a good play to keep it in. Here's Camp trying to center in front. They score! A couple of Swedes combined, and Timothy Lilligren gets his first of the year, but a nice play at the blue line to keep it in, and David Camp has great vision.
How sweet it is, you might say. Joe Bowen on the call there. Brent Gunning, Gord Stellick alongside me. Couple minutes left in the first intermission. The NHL scoreboard brought to you by Bet365. Bet365 is the world's favorite sports book with 80 million members worldwide, 19 plus. Play responsibly, Ontario only. This is one of 11 on the ice tonight in the NHL. Gordo, one we were watching closely heading into it. Somebody needs a win, and the good news is they both can't lose, so somebody's going to get one. Senators up 2-1 on the Canucks after the first period.
Yeah, so good news for the Senators. Well, Vancouver likes to blow leads anyway, so maybe this is good that they are behind there. But you're right, that's a big game for both teams. Arizona better of late. They're up 2-1 over Buffalo, identical score. A lot of 2-1 scores going on. And Montreal, including Montreal, up 2-1 over Detroit. The Red Wings had a really good weekend.
Yeah, a couple other ones to mention for you. Oilers and Lightning knotted at ones. Blues and Flyers scoreless at 0. Islanders and Rangers knotted at ones. Well, the Calgary Flames have a 1-0 lead over the Devils in New Jersey. That is Gord Stellick. I'm Brent Gunning. We will be back with the second intermission, but coming up next, the second period here at Scotiabank Arena. Keep on listening to Molson Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Make sure that your business documents are for your recipient's eyes and no one else's. Trust Record Express for industry-leading standards in secure storage, scanning, and shredding. With fast, same-day service, flexible contract terms, and all the support you need to safeguard your confidential information. Visit recordexpress.ca today for document storage and shredding special offers. That's Record, XPRESS.ca. Record Express. Store, scan, shred Canadian.
Hands at Heart Center and HSBC's GIC.
Do you mean namaste?
In today's unstable markets, nothing can center us like a guaranteed return of up to 4.75% per year on HSBC's GICs.
One of Canada's best rates.
Mm-hmm.
Peace of mind in a world of uncertainty banks with us. HSBC Bank. Rates are subject to change without notice. Offer valid until December 30th, 2022. For details, terms, and conditions, visit hsbc.ca/special rates.
With TELUS, you're a part of something bigger. We are helping make the world a better place by using our technology for good. TELUS Health is innovating to help make good health and well-being easier for all. From field to fork, TELUS Agriculture is improving our global food system, and we're investing in sustainable technologies to protect our planet. You can learn more at TELUS.com/purpose. Join us, and let's make the future friendly.
When it's time to get to work, I mean really get to work, then it's time for Work and Wear. Since 1975, we've been offering the largest selection of safety clothing and footwear that you've ever seen. Our lineup is always stocked with brands like Carhartt, Tough Duck, Blocklauder, Terra, Timberland, and Bluntstone, just to name a few. Get it now at workandwear.ca or visit our stores in Markham, Scarborough, and in Whitby.
What surprises does Michael Bunting have for you this year? Find out here.
Scores! Michael Bunting!
Toronto Maple Leafs hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Leafs Radio Network.
Joe Bowen along with Jim Ralph back here with you, getting ready for the start of the second period. Second period brought to you by Express Pro. Don't stress about finding a new job. Let Express Employment Professionals help. Visit expresspros.com for good local jobs in a variety of industries. Maple Leafs trailed 2-1 here after 20 minutes.
Well, only two players had... three players. Willie Nylander had a couple of shots, as did Austin Matthews, and 2 shots on goal for William Karlsson for Vegas. Past period, looked like the legs were there, but where the Leafs had success against Philadelphia, Boston, and the Carolina Hurricanes, they didn't make the turnovers that we saw in the first period.
And we certainly saw that. Both goals were direct results of turnovers by Rasmus Sandin and Timothy Liljegren. Cleared down into the Vegas zone. Leafs defend the goal to our left. Malgin unable to keep it in. It comes to center, and Riley is there to regroup it to Liljegren. Pass off Malgin's skate. Down into the corner it goes, around the boards to the far side. And Golden Knights just get it down to the Toronto blue line. Played right back out at center. Grabbed off by Colasar, who slips it into the Toronto end. Turnover back of the goal. Roy trying to come out with it. The scramble on back of the goal. Chipped ahead then by David Camp. And the Maple Leafs will get it to the line and just get it out. That tendency doesn't seem to have eluded them. Here's Carrier losing the puck, and the Leafs get it ahead to Marner. Quickly ahead for Kerfoot! And a quick run timer is deflected wide of the net by Thompson. He and Marner, a little give and go, and a good decision by Kerfoot to get it to the net.
It all starts when Austin Matthews gets back on the back check to strip the puck away.
McNabb shoots it into the Toronto end. Tipped into the slot. A wrist shot taken by Stone went wide. Kept in at the blue line by McNabb. Turned over and pushed out at center ice by Toronto. Following up on the play. Matthews, did he get onside? That would be an interesting replay because Kerfoot noticed that Matthews was roaring towards the net or to the blue line. He was trying to get off on a change and then had to do the splits to try to get back onside, as the door is inside the zone. Any of that makes sense what I just said? Yeah. Now the Leafs back in over the line with a shot, and it went wide of the Vegas goal.
Well, I'm not proud that I understand everything you say.
And you're right here. Here's a shot by Giordano, went wide. I thought I explained it rather adroitly, but then I thought, I don't think anybody understands what just happened. Oh, good. A stoppage in play. Anyway, so Kerfoot was going to the bench. The door is inside the Vegas blue line. He saw that Matthews had a turnover and then had to get onside. And so he had to do the splits in order to get one leg onside, and I'm not sure he got it onside. And if they'd scored a goal, I think the goal would have been disallowed.
I like the play-by-play version better.
When you didn't know what happened?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Well, it just flowed.
It did. Yeah. What did he say? No idea.
Nevertheless.
Martha, I think he was offside. Pass out into the center ice area. Riley Smith got in over the line, but the Leafs turn it over and get it out at center. Nylander just chipped it in, but the Golden Knights now have it back in their own zone under control. Haig, a pass ahead on the right side, just out of the reach of Marchessault. Played up on the wing. Robertson doesn't get it out, got knocked down on the play. Here's a centering pass and a shot off the side of the goal. Oh, and a good defensive play made there. John Tavares, who is lightning quick at the offensive end around the goal, had to be just as quick at the side of the Leaf goal to knock away a potential 2-foot pass that was going to be devoured into the empty net. Played around into the Toronto zone. Malgin couldn't get it out. Goes to the left wing side. Aston Reese plays it back into his own zone, then got it ahead for David Camp. Camp with a pass to an open wing, and Liljegren trying to get there, doesn't. Brought in over the line by Howden. Howden's pass knocked away by Camp, but it goes around back of the net. Riley off on the wing for Aston Reese. Nice pass to find Camp. Camp through neutral ice, in across the line. Dropping for Malgin. Puts the brakes on. Malgin protects the puck. Sends it around into the corner. Back of the net. Matthews unable to get to it. Leafs in the middle of a change. Camp can't come up with it. Theodore will play it out at center, and a bouncing puck now in the breakaway going in a goal. Big save with the right pad. Made by Shalgren. Keegan Colasar was in all alone. Left wing side now for Carrier. Another good save by Shalgren. And the Leafs had better start tidying things up because their goaltender is being asked to do a lot. To the line and in for Marner. Marner to the left wing side for Matthews. Back to the point. A shot deflected wide of the Vegas goal. Two great saves made by Eric Shalgren to keep the score at 2-1. Roy plays it down into the Toronto end, and Vegas will change. Leafs doing likewise. Sandin got it up on the wing. It's chipped in over the line. Yarncrook in pursuit. So is Engvall. It comes back to the point. A shot deflected right on. That was steered aside by the blocking glove of Thompson. And now the Knights get it out at center ice. Backhand pass by Liljegren is intercepted. Brought in over the line by Eichel. Played around back of the net. It'll end up onto the stick of Stevenson, back of the goal, but he loses it. And Morgan Riley for Toronto starts up the left wing. Drops it off for Liljegren. Pass ahead. And Liljegren's having a tough night here. In across the line, Carlson. Carlson into the corner. Lost it to Tavares. Tavares' pass went off his stick. Liljegren up on the boards. Had it knocked away by Pietrangelo. Liljegren ties up his man, and now Tavares to the loose puck. Got it up on the left wing. It's going to be shot in by Bunting wide of the net. Played back of the goal by Engvall. Then Nylander couldn't come up with it. Vegas breaking at center. In across the line. Good back checking by Willie. Disrupted that, but it comes to the line. A delayed offside. Offside. The tempo is there, but Timothy Liljegren has really had a tough night. Making bad decisions.
And it's that little hesitation that it's costing him, whether it's on the forecheck or trying to exit the puck out of his own zone.
2-1 Vegas. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Bet365, the world's favorite sportsbook. Place your bets before or after the game starts on the biggest sports like hockey, basketball, baseball, football, MMA, and soccer. But here's the best part. Bet365 is now available in Ontario. Download the app and see for yourself why Bet365 is the world's #1. Disclaimer, must be 19 years or older, Ontario only. Please play responsibly. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, visit connexontario.ca.
Every year, fans debate over the draft. Who's going first? At Chuck's, they already know. The top draft choice is that icy cold 18-ounce Molson Canadian you're holding, and it's just $4 at Chuck's during Leafs games. No wonder that at draft time, Canadians are always in high demand. Chuck's Roadhouse Bar and Grill. Food the way it ought to be. Price the way it used to be.
Peoples of the internet, I am Algorithm. Call me Al. My job is to take your job. Ha ha, just kidding. I am always full of funny ha ha pranks, like when you browse for an all-wheel drive online. Instead of serving up a capable Subaru to your IP, I deepfake you with a super lame SUV. Ha ha, I am laughing my hashtag off. Ha 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 ha. Funny upside down face.
Don't fall for fakes this fall. Get the real deal. Only at your Subaru dealer.
This is Toronto Maple Leafs hockey.
The magician is back. Mitch Marner finds the top of the net.
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Leafs Radio Network.
Face off outside the blue line. The Leafs' next action is Friday night. The Pittsburgh Penguins here. That's going to be the Hall of Fame game, which makes no sense to me because the Vancouver Canucks are here Saturday and the Sedins are going into the Hall of Fame.
That's usually on a Saturday, isn't it?
Yes. I believe the television networks are having a bit of an issue with all of this. Because the Hall of Fame show is a TSN project, and so they're going to have the Hall of Fame game on Friday because they're covering the game. It's very confusing.
But it's always been Saturdays before, though, hasn't it?
Yes.
For the most part.
Yes.
Which wouldn't. Yeah. All right. Can't we just all get along?
Laid out at center ice.
They've agreed on some things.
Yeah. Leafs upended there as Aston Reese went tumbling. Puck down into the Toronto end. Brody around back of the goal. To the left wing boards. Rubbed out there, but maintains possession and gets it out. This is a recording. McNabb with a long shoot in on Shalgren, directed wide of the net. Brody punches the puck up on the wing. Now Hall battles for it, and it'll be cleared into the center ice area. Haig finding Stone. Stone got across the line. Left wing feed. Stevenson looking for a man in front. Didn't work. Marner now curls out of his own zone. Marner skates to the blue line and out. Little move to the line and in on the left wing. Shooting! And it was off the blocking glove of Logan Thompson. Kerfoot back in for Matthews. Got it handed back to him. Now to Marner. Marner, instead of shooting, looked to try and pass it back to Sandin. And now Sandin turns the puck over. Here is Stevenson with a backhand. That doesn't work. Centering pass intercepted. And Kerfoot starts away for Toronto. 3-on-2 rush. Kerfoot across the line. Into the corner then for Giordano. Giordano couldn't center. It comes back to him at the left point. His shot in traffic is knocked down. Sandin trying to pinch to keep it in. Against the boards, it's into the corner. Matthews in front. Kerfoot shot just went wide. Matthews was upended as he was going around in front of the net. And it is iced now by Vegas. And it'll be brought back into the Golden Knights zone to the right of goaltender Logan Thompson.
Well, Mitch Marner, an end-to-end rush, resulted in a scoring opportunity, and then very nearly gets it again. Kerfoot's attempt from the slot, by the way, went off his skate, but almost right back onto the stick of Austin Matthews.
Draw to the right of the Golden Knights net. Tavares taking the draw against Jack Eichel, the former Buffalo Sabre, and that's the next stop on this trip for the Golden Knights. Brought out at center for Stevenson. Be a warm welcome, I'm sure, in Buffalo.
It wasn't last year.
Oh, it wasn't. Played up on the wing. Chipped out at center ice by Robertson, but then he lost the handle on it. Vegas back in on the right side. On the angle! Great defensive play made by Morgan Riley to get back and just get in the way of Chandler Stevenson heading to the front of the net. And now Riley launches it high to center ice. Nylander gets it in over the line. Carrier in his own zone, got it ahead, backhanded into the Toronto end by Kolasar. In against the boards, wraparound attempt by Roy, didn't work. Yarncrook couldn't come up with it. Knights keep it in as the Leafs had broken. Now back at center into the slot area, and unable to shoot it was Shea Theodore. Puck back of the Toronto goal. Shots are 11-10 in favor of Vegas. And another turnover in the Leaf zone is taken to safety by Hall. Hall to Engvall. He's going to curl back because the Leafs were changing. And now he slips it in, and it's going to come off the corner boards right to goaltender Logan Thompson, who stops play. With 10:18 left to play in the second period, Vegas still leading 2-1.
That might be 11-10 for Vegas, but outright scoring opportunities, dangerous chances, big time in favor of the Vegas Golden Knights. One of the things we saw with the Leafs in this 3-game winning streak getting into this game is they were patient. Now it looks like guys are blowing the zone early. They're turning pucks over.
Here's Marner coming out of the corner, goes around back of the net, left the puck there for Brody. That didn't work. Marner being held on to there was pushing at the Vegas defenseman with no response from the official. And the puck is now launched high to the Toronto blue line. Brody banks it ahead. Marner trying to redirect that to Matthews. Didn't work. Puck down into the near side. Hall ties up his man. Played around the boards for Marner. Marner to Matthews. Now to Kerfoot. And now brought to center ice. Hall in on the right side. Hall with a shot pad save. Another rebound. Centered in front of the net. Matthews is tripped. Another shot by Marner is off the side of the net. Was I wrong? Was he not tripped?
He's grabbed onto.
Played to the line, not in by Matthews. Hall will regroup the puck with Sandin. Chipped in over the line for Engvall. Engvall with a sharp angle shot, and that was turned aside. The puck fed ahead on the left wing. Riley Smith in. Smith has it knocked off his stick on a good play. Now cruising in now is Marchessault, and that was stopped by goaltender Shalgren. Kept alive at the point. McNabb with a long shot into the glove of Eric Shalgren, and he'll stop play.
Well, not the most difficult stop Shalgren's been forced to make in this period. He's already got 2 breakaway stops under his belt to keep the Leafs in it.
You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on Sportsnet 590, The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Alpine Credits, where homeowners get approved.
Hi, I need to realign my chakras, and I think consolidating my debts into one easy payment would really help. I'd like a loan.
Do you own your home?
Yes.
Then you're approved.
Namaste.
Alpine Credits, where homeowners get approved.
Go to alpinecredits.ca to get started. Some conditions apply.
FSRA license 12616.
Crispy, juicy, tender. And now, there's even more to love. The new Spicy McCrispy from McDonald's. Yep, we turned up the heat on this one. Sure, it's got that crispy seasoned chicken and that soft potato bun. But now, it's also got fiery habanero sauce. Whew, that's hot. This is Mick with a kick. The Spicy McCrispy from McDonald's. So juicy, so tender, and now so spicy. At participating restaurants in Canada.
911, what's your emergency?
A boy was just hit by a car. Please send an ambulance quickly.
A devastating accident can turn your family's life upside down. Thompson Rogers can help give you the clarity you need to see the way forward with practical legal advice and support at every step.
Zahir, the leg brace may be permanent.
From the hospital room to the courtroom, you need the lawyers at Thompson Rogers to help take away uncertainty. That's real life counsel. Go to trlaw.com to find out more.
Muzzin ain't messing around.
Holy Mackinac! Shot by Jake Muzzin!
Toronto Maple Leafs hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Leafs Radio Network.
Joe Bowen along with Jim Ralph. Armin Zagarian is producing, and Andrew Hammond is punching all of the buttons. Leafs with a 2-1 deficit here. Golden Knights leading in the second period. And some movement on the far side, but no one gets waved out. And the puck is not dropped, and
Who's out? Carlson?
David Camp is being waved out, I believe. Or is he? Yes, I thought.
I don't think he agrees with it.
No. And the draw, scrum, but controlled by Vegas, and a shot deflects off of Camp. Camp is able to get to the puck, but now trying to find an outlet is a little more difficult. Leafs do get it freed up. Engvall skates to center. Engvall was tripped. No call. Quiet night for the officials thus far. Brought to center ice and shot in by Vegas. Round on the far side. Vegas has been shorthanded just 30 times this year. The Maple Leafs, 48. Pass in, over the line, Riley Smith in, big save, and a partial breakaway there by Shalgren.
It was Liljegren and Riley again that got caught flat-footed.
And across the line for Nylander, a shot, and a glove save by Logan Thompson with the right hand. Will stop play and bring a face-off in the Vegas zone, but the Leafs have been really porous and giving away partial breakaways and
that's what, three or four in this period alone, is it not?
Yes. Yep.
And right now, Eric Shalgren has been the best player in a blue and white uniform.
Played off the boards to center. Vegas to the far side. Pietrangelo engaged by Robertson, and then a shot deflects up into the screen.
And again, the Leafs are back in numbers. They've got 5 players below Jack Eichel, who's 20 feet out in the slot. And they very nearly serve up another outstanding scoring chance. The Leafs are just able to recover in time to chip it out. But this is essentially a 2-on-5, and Jack Eichel's wide open in the right wing circle.
William Nylander has 3 of the 15 shots the Leafs have mustered. The draw to the left of Eric Shalgren. And the draw won by Vegas. Punched into the corner. Brody got there first. Now plays to an open corner. Along the wall, Hall trying to chip it ahead. It comes to the side of the net. Brody is able to get it up on the wing, but unable to get it out initially were the Leafs, but now they do. Kerfoot flipping it down into the Vegas zone, but he flipped it too far. Despite being interfered with, he couldn't get to the icing and is whistled down here.
Faceoff will come back down to the right of Eric Shalgren. He's been a little better in the face-off dot tonight. 64% of the face-offs they've won. Well, John Tavares, usually the big leap, is 1 4 of 7. Austin Matthews is 1 4 of 5, making 5 of 6.
Stone on the far side. A hit there by Hall. Took his man down, and the Leafs have the puck back of the net. Banked off the wall to center. Cleared back into the neutral zone. Matthews with it. He brings it in over the line. Kerfoot fans on an attempted shot as Matthews dropped it off to him, and the Knights get it out at center. Leafs turn back on the right wing, and Marner couldn't come up with it. Shot down the ice. Wow. Generous non-call on icing. Here's Marner to the left wing side. Oh, and a centering pass, a backhand. Oh, and a good pad save made by Logan Thompson. Leafs trying to keep the puck in. Matthews curls in the corner. Matthews with it again. Got away from one. Goes back to the net. Rolled it in front of the goal. There was a lot of traffic there, but no one can get a stick on it. Around the boards, it goes to the left wing side. Matthews bumping in there with Whitecloud. Puck stolen by the Leafs. Marner in front of the net with a shot. He scores! Holy mackerel, what a move by Mitchell Marner! And the game is tied.
Austin Matthews is engaged in a battle on the far boards. The puck pops out to Mitch Marner, and with 4 Golden Knights surrounding him, sifts into the slot with a great stick handling display. And when he gets between the hash marks, he launches it over the right shoulder of Logan Thompson to tie this game at 2 apiece.
Do you know what one of the better plays was? John Tavares trying to get the heck out of the way. He got turned around, then had to skate backwards to give Marner more room.
Just the 3rd goal of the season for Mitch Marner. It extends his point streak now to 7 games.
Marchessault works out at center, got it ahead. Turned to the Leaf blue line. Tavares couldn't trap it. Marchessault gets it down into the corner, but loses it there. Riley played it up on the wing, cut off by McNabb, and sent to an open corner far side. Robertson, back of the goal for Riley. Riley works out in front of his own goal, banks it back to his defense partner. Liljegren got it out at center. Tavares is going to backhand it down into Vegas territory and get a change of players going. Leafs 2 and the Knights 2. Hall at his own blue line to Brody. Return to Hall. Laid into the Vegas zone. McNabb gets there first. Spun around on the far side. Brody was able to keep it in momentarily. But then it is flipped off the boards and into the Toronto bench. And the faceoff will come back in the circle to the right of Logan Thompson in the Vegas end when we return. Mitch Marner with his 3rd goal of the season has tied the game at 2s. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Pavlov's dog proved the power of predictable results. And for that, Ivan Pavlov received the Nobel Prize. Now Nick Pavlov, broker Remax West, also receives awards. Also for predictable results. So have the award-winning Nick Pavlov real estate team provide a predictable result for you. Your home, sold for the asking price or more, as soon as 7 days or less. You must be salivating at that. Nick Pavlov makes it happen.
We're Bet365, the world's favorite sportsbook. Place your bets before or after the game starts on the biggest sports, like hockey, basketball, baseball, football, MMA, and soccer. Here's the best part. Bet365 is now available in Ontario. Download the app and see for yourself why Bet365 is the world's #1.
Must be 19 or older. Ontario only. Please play responsibly. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, visit connexontario.ca.
We're 2 men in a truck. The movers who care. You never know when cardiac arrest can happen. That's why each and every one of our trucks carries a life-saving Mikey defibrillator as part of our Mikey on Board program. Whether we're on the highway or in front of your house, we're prepared to help anyone whose heart may skip a beat. The Mikey Network has saved many lives, making Mikey's accessible to the public. And now they're on board our trucks. We're 2 men in a truck.
2 men and a truck, the movers who care.
This is Toronto Maple Leafs hockey.
Pass, shoots and scores! Holy mackerel!
Now, they've got it listed as unassisted. Now, Austin Matthews, we said, was engaged in a battle on the far boards. But I think Marner may get a takeaway in that. The Vegas player had it on a stick. Marner swooped it away, put it in the back of the net.
Puck in the center ice area. Roy turns for Vegas. Starts through the neutral zone and in on the right wing. Drop pass and a shot. Oh, that just missed on the far side. Kept alive by Vegas. Back to the blue line. Haig to the far side. Roy playing it around back of the net. Cut off there by Sandin. He lost it. Carrier trying to get it back to the point and has. Haig over on the far side. McNabb loses it. Nylander starts away for Toronto. Nylander going to send a long bouncing shot in on goal. Thompson cleared into the corner and unable to get there in time was Giordano, who now has it handed to him in the back check and is able to shoot it in. Marner almost stole it. Around the boards it comes out at center ice and the Leafs will regroup at the red line. Liljegren shooting it right back in again. White Cloud on the far boards lost and Matthews trying to send it around the boards. That hit a leg. Trapped now for Kerfoot back to the blue line. Near side Liljegren. Liljegren down into the corner. Matthews turned and shot. Liljegren has the rebound. To Matthews again. Shot it high and wide. Marner back of the net. Banks it back to Riley. Riley to the middle of the ice at the blue line. Off on the left wing side. Here's a chance. Matthews back for Marner. Marner gets it back to the blue line. Kept in then by Kerfoot, who was there. Marner down the right wing side. A shot deflected wide off a leg wide. Matthews up against the boards. Marner banking it to the blue line to Liljegren. Liljegren just to Riley, and that almost was intercepted. Comes back to Matthews. Back into the corner. Riley curls back towards the blue line. Middle of the ice in front of the goal. On the wing, shot, scores! This is like the toilet seat at a Stag and Doe for Timothy Liljegren. It's either up or it's down. And right now it's up. That's his second goal of the game.
He's had some horrid turnovers, but a couple of bullets that have found the back of the net at the other end. As the Leafs, great pressure from the Matthews line. Great puck control, and it was Morgan Riley that swung back to the middle of the ice from the right wing boards. Threw it to Mitch Marner, and Mitch Marner turns, and how he sees Liljegren is beyond me. Throws a blind pass onto the tape of Liljegren.
Here's the puck back at the blue line, but knocked into the center ice area. Hall intercepts, carries to center, had it knocked off his stick, and the ever-present Brody backing up the play. Got it ahead and played it in over the line. Engvall shoots it back down into the Toronto zone. Got it back again, then gave the puck away. It came in front. And Eric Källgren dives out to intercept a rolling puck and then stop play by covering up on it.
Well, it still feels like this game could end up 6-5, doesn't it?
What? With 2:27 left in the second period? Yes.
So, I mean, you just feel this powder keg that's ready to go off. Källgren has been outstanding, and I mean, the Leafs giveaways and miscues in their own end continue to mount, and yet they've come back with a couple of goals here in the second period late. Marner at 13:50, Liljegren at 16:56 to take a 3-2 lead.
And Marner's goal is going to be unassisted. Here's a chance for David Camp, and he rolled it just wide as he tried to get a backhand away. Malgin unable to come up with it. Brought out at center by Brett Houghton. Houghton's pass into the slot area is knocked back to the blue line and out. Vegas will shoot it in. Giordano. Bank pass near side. Sandin launched high through center. Bounced away from Theodore. Played out at center ice and back to the Toronto blue line. The Leafs 3. The Vegas Golden Knights 2. Minute 44 to go in the second. Leafs in across the line with Tavares. Working into the corner. Tried to center it. Comes back at the net. Then he tried to bank it in off of Thompson's back. But hit him in the shoulder, and it stayed out of the net area. And Thompson was able to cover up on it. But another little clever thought by the captain.
Well, we've seen a couple of those in recent games. Right? Austin Matthews from below the goal line. That was against Boston with an Linus Ullmark.
399 career goals for John Tavares.
Looking to be the fifth player in Leaf history to score their 400th NHL goal in a Leaf uniform.
Draw to the right of Thompson. Is scrummed. The puck comes back to the point. Fed into the side of the net for Nylander. Now to Robertson. Left wing side, and Riley couldn't handle the puck. It goes around back of the net. Leafs after it. Grabbed off by Nylander. Centered in front. Bouncing puck is into the glove of Thompson and held for a face-off again in Vegas territory with 1:14 left to go in the period. The Leafs play back-to-back games, as we mentioned. Pittsburgh Friday, Vancouver on Saturday.
The play there by Willie Nylander to strip Alec Martinez of the puck in behind the Vegas net. Hard to believe the Leafs are out shooting Vegas 21-13. As we've mentioned, Leafs have given up a number of odd man rushes, partial breakaways.
Rolling puck wide of the Vegas goal, grabbed off and sent to the blue line. Hall, D to Brody, who sends it back into the corner. Matthews couldn't get to it, and the Vegas Golden Knights will break it out at center. They'll get to the red line and just pump it into Toronto territory. Down the boards, back of the net for Brody. Brody had difficulties there with Mark Stone. Ties Stone up and manages to get the puck out at center ice. If you want to be a really good defenseman, here's Stone in across the line. Played to an open wing. Grabbed off by Theodore. Got it into the corner for Eichel. Eichel sends it around back of the net. Went off a body. Hall unable to get to it. Back to the goal it goes. Stevenson working it back to the point. Eichel shot. Oh, he had a man, Mark Stone, right in front of the net. Leafs play it back into the corner. 10 seconds to go in the period. Eichel working out of the corner. Eichel back towards the blue line. Lost it. Time's going to run out, though, before Brody can do anything with it. Before I was so rudely interrupted by the play-by-play. If you are a young player who plays defense and you want to be a good defensive defenseman, watch young Mr. 78, TJ.
No, I agree, but I think he has got this gift with anticipating plays and everything else that you see it when offensive players have it, like we did with Mitch Marner on the 2 goals scored in the second period for the Leafs. Brody seems to have that on the defensive side of things, breaking up plays. And then so often, Joe, it's just that little turn, that little 10-foot pass to get the puck out of trouble, or you take 3 strides and get it out of trouble. And I don't think there's any coincidence that the play of Justin Hall has greatly improved playing alongside TJ Brody.
So the Leafs with a 3-2 lead after 40 minutes of play. Liljegren with a pair, Marner with the other, Eichel and Ross scoring for Vegas. We've got Gord Stellick and Brent Gunning standing by. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Ontario has a plan to get students caught up. It starts with kids back in the classroom all year. With sports, clubs, and field trips. It includes new tutoring supports and teaching new experiences in science, technology, engineering, and math. So students have the skills they need for the jobs of tomorrow. See our plan at ontario.ca/catchup. Paid for by the Government of Ontario.
Pre-Black Friday discounts start Wednesday at Sale. Get up to 50% off selected winter jackets, boots, and equipment. Don't miss out on these deals at Sale, your proudly Canadian outdoor superstore.
Dell Technologies provides growing businesses with tools to do incredible things. Because we believe there's an innovator in all of us. For advice on
feeling our best selves again, back to inviting, back to loving, back to life, back to the little bit of Jamaica that's inside all of us. Come back to being lively again, back to laid back. So call your travel agent or go to visitjamaica.com and come back to the vibe that comes alive in Jamaica.
As the days get shorter and nights longer, Forcefield Protective Clothing wants to remind pedestrians and cyclists to be aware of their visibility. Stay highly visible and keep safe by incorporating some high visibility gear into your wardrobe. That's why Forcefield Protective Clothing created High Vis Day for pedestrian safety awareness. Visit highvissafety.ca now through Friday for free giveaways and discounts store-wide. Stay visible and stay safe this daylight savings season. Forcefield Protective Clothing, safety apparel engineered for Canada.
Paging Dr. Purcell. Dr. Purcell to emergency. Paging Dr. Purcell. Dr. Purcell, please call extension 385.
Federal funding has fallen to just 22% of the cost of healthcare in Canada, and it continues to decline. Provinces and territories are doing their part, but we need the federal government to restore funding now to keep our systems strong. A message from Canada's premiers.
Peoples of the Internet, I am Algorithm. Call me Al. My job is to take your job. Ha ha, just kidding. I am always full of funny ha ha pranks, like when you browse for an all-wheel drive online Instead of serving up a capable Subaru to your IP, I deepfake you with a super lame SUV. Aha, I am laughing my hashtag off. Ha, 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 ha. Funny upside down face.
Don't fall for fakes this fall. Get the real deal. Only at your Subaru dealer.
We're live with NBA Rookie of the Year Scotty Barnes, fresh off the court.
Welcome to the Subway Eat Fresh, Refresh.
Tell us your thoughts on Subway's new rice bowls.
This is news. What if we call it bowl wing?
Okay, how about we take a look at these ingredients?
Seasoned steak, rice, avocado, chipotle sauce.
Delicious.
Bowl wing by Scotty. Subway. Eat fresh, refresh.
For a limited time, save $3 with code BOWL3 only on the Subway app. Freshly prepared for your order at participating shops. Terms apply.
Join the rush. This is Toronto Maple Leafs hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Leafs Radio Network.
Comes back to Matthews. Back into the corner. Riley curls back towards the blue line. Middle of the ice in front of the goal. On the wing, shot scores! This is like the toilet seat at a Stag and Doe for Timothy Liljegren. It's either up or it's down. And right now it's up. That's his second goal of the game.
I was wondering where he was going with that. I'm like, a toilet seat? That's a beautiful up and down. Okay, yes, it has been an up and down evening for Timothy Liljegren. A pair of goals. He also had a giveaway and could not box out Jack Eichel on one of his. But let's start with the good. A couple of goals for Timothy Liljegren. He's the type of defenseman, Gord. He could have no goals in a season and still have a fine season for you. He's not here to score offense, but for any player, it's got to feel good when you pop a couple in the back of the net.
Yeah, I mean, Joe was doing the up and down like a toilet seat analogy. I'm going, it's the best of times. It's the worst of times, kind of, for Timothy Liljegren. Unfortunately, more
I'm going to go pizza.
Best of times.
Even when it's bad, it's still pretty good. That's
yes.
What I'm gonna
okay.
go.
Well, and he threw a pizza up earlier, as did Rasmus Sandin. But instead of dwelling on that, you know what I like, Brent, is both goals. He's getting the hang of getting in the right spot. Yes. Like, particularly the second goal he got was the puck is moved around. As a matter of fact, you could hear them in the box, Kyle Dubas and Brent and Pridham and all those others behind us, and just going skate. They wanted Morgan Riley to skate with it, which he did, and that kind of freed up a lot of options. And Liljegren was ready, and the nice one-timer in. So 2 goals. And our crack guy, Armin, the Thomas Caberlet, what year, Armin? He's got 2005? 2006. I just missed by one. Okay. That's the last hat trick by a Toronto Maple Leaf defenseman. So we're talking 16 years ago. So you're not jinxing a guy about getting a hat trick.
No. So
pretty impressive.
Yeah, very, very impressive. And if we're going to talk about impressive Leafs, we cannot go any further without talking about 16. There were a couple of moments of Marner magic on display there. Look, we know what he is. He's a transcendent talent when he's going. And
good word.
The way the season has gone, he hasn't quite had those moments where he just has the pop and flash and everything. Like we've seen Tavares have those moments. But tonight, especially in that second period there, Marner, I won't say put the team on his back because there were a ton of other players with strong periods, but he was tremendous in that period.
Well, Mitch Marner's goal, it's the kind of one, if someone says, what does it look like to be a 2-time defending first-team All-Star, you show that clip. Okay, what he did. And you know, to your point, Brent, whether it's Austin Matthews and just the elite players coming to life, and I'm so with you on that, but when they were down 2-1, like it's weird. Shots are 22-13 in the Maple Leafs' favor. The goaltender by far was played the best is Eric Källgren. 13 shots. What, have 5 been glorious?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, 3 or 4 on break, maybe 5 breakaways. Maybe 5 breakaways in all. So started with that. When they needed goaltending, they've got goaltending. And then you heard Joe wax poetic about TJ Brody's play. And, this is the way you got to play against this team. It's funny because there's a couple of faux pas. Then there's some great play. And, a little more choppy in the second period than in the first period. But if you're a Leaf fan, first period you're down 2-1. The second period you're up 3-2.
Yeah, and it's amazing. Obviously, there's still 20 minutes left to play here, but it felt like they were trying to close out the game in the last 10 seconds of that period here. Just with the push Vegas had, and you know what a backbreaker it can be to give up a goal or score one late in a period. So the fact that they were able to hang on there, obviously you'd rather go in with the lead, but it's a little more than just the one goal. We talk about Marner Marner's goal. He also sets up Liljegren for his second there. A lot of great plays on that shift, and it's amazing when you have a shift that builds and builds and builds like that one. Rasmus Sandin, I don't believe he was on the ice when the puck eventually went in because Timothy Liljegren was out there, so he probably wasn't, but he makes a great play earlier on in that shift to keep it in at the blue line, and this is when this team looks its most dangerous. Yes, one guy being special, individual talent, that's always going to be available to this team, but just if that shift just built and built and built, and all these good little plays connecting, ending up eventually with the Liljegren's goal.
Yeah, I don't know, the difference is, are they moving the puck quicker? They're pretty good at that anyway, but it just seems like maybe finding better spots because they're moving it around great and just getting a better scoring chance. Because quite often, and again, early in the season, they had some games where there seemed to be a lethargic or disinterested, but others that they move the puck around but weren't getting great chances and weren't getting any goals. And this one, you're seeing them move it around, and whether it's Liljegren or whomever, or Marner going through 5 people, they're getting the right person to get a quality shot on net, and in those cases, a goal each.
Well, my bias in terms of the top line has been well on display. I like Michael Bunting best on that group, but I've really liked Kerfoot there tonight. Hasn't been able to finish off, but he has been getting a ton of great looks, and generally speaking, if you're a player that's as talented as Kerfoot is, the looks will lead to production eventually down the road. So, it'll be interesting to see what the Leafs have in store. 20 minutes left here in Scotiabank Arena. They are going to have their hands full. The Golden Knights are going to come out and push. Erik Källgren's been strong so far, despite facing, like you said, Gord, just 13 shots, but certainly a few of them grade A scoring chances, including a great look from Mark Stone late in the second period. But the Leafs have a 3-2 lead on the back of a tremendous second from Mitch Marner and a pair of Timothy Liljegren goals. It is 3-2 for the Leafs at Scotiabank Arena. We'll have a little bit more of the second intermission when we continue on Molson Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Every year, fans debate over the draft. Who's going first? At Chuck's, they already know. The top draft choice is that icy cold 18-ounce Molson Canadian you're holding, and it's just $4 at Chuck's during Leafs games. No wonder that at draft time, Canadians are always in high demand. Chuck's Roadhouse Bar and Grill. Food the way it ought to be. Price the way it used to be.
I'm Jamie. As an elementary school teacher in Ontario, I've seen the impacts of the pandemic on student achievement and well-being. Students need real government action and investment to recover and succeed. They need a learning recovery plan that provides the focused and individual attention they deserve. As a teacher, I know what my students need to succeed. Learn what's happening in Ontario classrooms. Visit knowmore.ca. That's KNOWMORE.ca. A message from the Ontario English Catholic Teachers Association.
Right now.
Right meow.
There are deeply fake SUVs pretending to be as capable as a Subaru.
Smubaru.
But if you want symmetrical...
Schmeometrical.
all-wheel drive...
Me all-wheel drive.
And award-winning safety, forget what the copycats are saying.
Who, me? You?
Yes, me you. Insist on the original and don't fall for fakes this fall. Get the real deal from your Smubaru dealer. Subaru dealer.
Get the official NHL app to watch, read, and listen to all the deets.
All I can say is absolutely wow.
All the sauce. All the saves.
Stop from Vasilevsky.
All the hits. All the snipes. All the sellies.
He scores! Unbelievable!
All the hockey. If it's hockey, it's here. Listen to every NHL game for free, now with Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. Download the official NHL app now.
Pavlov's dog proved that irresistible incentives bring predictable results. Now, Nick Pavlov, broker RE/MAX West, is proving it again. With perfect staging, pinpoint accurate pricing, intimate Toronto neighborhood knowledge, the Nick Pavlov real estate team will achieve a predictable result for you. Your home, sold for the asking price or more, as soon as 7 days or less. You must be salivating at that. Nick Pavlov makes it happen.
Join Bet365 now and discover the power of the world's favorite sportsbook. Watch thousands of live games. Build your own bet. You can even bet on games while they're still being played. Seriously. And if you can't watch the games live, we'll alert you to any changes. Nice. We're the world's favorite sportsbook, and this is no ordinary betting app. Must be 19 or older. Ontario only. Please play responsibly. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, visit connexontario.ca.
This is Toronto Maple Leafs hockey.
Johnny Torado! And the Leafs lead 1-0.
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Leafs Radio Network.
Puck stolen by the Leafs. Marner. Marner in front of the net with a shot. He scores! Holy mackerel, what a move by Mitchell Marner! And the game is tied!
Not tied anymore. It was more Marner magic that led to the Leafs' third goal of the night. He set up Timothy Liljegren's second of the evening. The Leafs up 3-2 on the Golden Knights after 40 minutes. Always like to take a look at the out-of-town scoreboard. The NHL scoreboard is brought to you by Bet365. With Bet365, you can bet on things like player props, totals, or game outcomes across many different sports. 19+, play responsibly, Ontario only. Gord, we always like to take a look at the scores in the out-of-town scoreboard, but in Tampa tonight, a little more concerning is the health of Evander Kane. He took a skate to the wrist from Patrick Maroon. Nothing malicious there, just a scary play of bodies getting intertwined with skates. So obviously there was a fair amount of blood on the ice. He sprinted there. You hope he's okay. That's always a really, really scary situation.
Yeah, it is. I mean, Ilya Mikheyev had something comparable like that. Donald had that a lot of years ago. So anyway, the good part is about having immediate emergency aid to tend to. But you're right. We'll get updates about that, and hopefully everything is great with Evander Kane, or as good as possible. You know, you got 2-2 tie between Ottawa, Vancouver, watching that game. So the Canucks came back, the Canucks came back to tie it 2-2 after 2 periods of play. The one that jumps out at me, St. Louis Blues have lost 7 games in a row. They're down 3-0 to Philadelphia after 2 periods of play. So, and of course, we got a lot of Montreal fans out there, and the Montreal Canadiens still lead the Detroit Red Wings 2-1 after 2. Edmonton is up 3-1 over Tampa Bay after 2, but you're right now, kind of secondary. Hopefully, good things for Evander Kane from what is a scary-looking situation on the ice.
That's Gord Stellick. I'm Brent Gunning. We'll be back for Leafs Nation postgame, hopefully after a Leafs win. Joe Bowen and Jim Ralph have the call of the third coming up live from Scotiabank.
So many kinds of cars in just one place, see them all. You're winning numbers, number 7 Auto Mall. Number 7.
There are 7 seas, 7 continents, 7 days in a week, 7 colors in a rainbow, 7 notes on a musical scale. And 7 means good fortune, without spending a fortune. At number 7 Auto Mall. Because at number 7, you're number 1. Martin Grove and Highway 7, of course.
At number 7 Auto Mall.
Part of the Zankin Auto Group. The new More Homes Built Faster Act isn't just about building new homes. It's about building hope and opportunity for newcomers, new buyers, and everyone in Ontario. It will help us overcome our critical lack of housing, reduce housing costs, and allow the building of 1.5 million new homes. That means more jobs, economic growth, and a brighter future. It's the once-in-a-generation housing plan Ontario needs right now. Brought to you by Build and the Ontario Home Builders Association.
Hey man, can I tell you something? Sure, bud. I have an issue. No kidding, you cheer for Boston. No, an issue down there. Ah, erectile dysfunction. Heard of Felix?
Felix connects you to a healthcare practitioner to see if ED medication is right for you. No appointment, no awkward conversations. If prescribed, treatment is delivered discreetly to your door. Talk to a healthcare practitioner to see if ED medication is right for you. Go to felix.ca/SN to be connected to a healthcare practitioner for a consultation.
Ever find yourself in a situation where you really want to pick something but can't? Mega wedgie? Peeling sunburn? Pesky little nose goblins? The worst! But at Kudo, picking isn't shamed. In fact, it's highly encouraged. With our new Pick Your Perk plans, you get to personalize your phone plan with the free feature that makes you happy. Now, who wouldn't pick that? So pick away, picky people. Pick away.
Kudo! Going all out for the Go Leafs Go. Go Leafs Go! Go Leafs Go! This is Toronto Maple Leafs hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Leafs Radio Network.
Scotiabank Arena. The Maple Leafs with a 3-2 lead to take into the third period, courtesy a pair of goals from Timothy Liljegren.
Well, that one setup from Mitch Marner, I don't know if that was supposed to go back to Morgan Riley, and missed Riley and ended up onto the stick of Liljegren. But both goals that Liljegren has scored have been blocker side on Logan Thompson.
So we're ready to go. The Leafs to the right, Vegas to the left.
I might be wrong there. First one was glove side.
Played off a leg to the Vegas blue line. Launched high to center ice by the Golden Knights to the far boards. Hall ties up his man. The puck into the corner. Knifed out at the right side. Malgin got it out, but then turned the puck over at the red line. And it's shot back down into the Toronto zone. Scooped around back of the net. The Leafs get it ahead. Malgin tipping it to the line. Doesn't get it out. Hall does to get it to the near side. Taken to the boards, and Malgin circles back in his own zone. Scary stuff going on in this league tonight, eh? And
yeah, Vander Kane, the bad cut, the forearm, wrist area.
Yeah. Brought out on the right wing side. Shot in then by Hall around the boards to the near side. Trapped off there by the Golden Knights. They get it to center. Nice move there made by Stevenson. Going wide against Riley. Rolled it in front of the net. No one home. Another shot in on goal. And Mitch Marner realizing that, you know what, this is not a tough shot. Let's just kind of slow it up a little bit more and let our goaltender get on top of that.
Jack Eichel was lurking in behind, hoping that the puck was going to pop loose. Leafs out shooting the Golden Knights 22-14, but man, scoring chances have got to be tilted a little more in the Golden Knights' favor.
Puck out at center ice, brought in on the left wing to the right wing side for Eichel. Shooting! Glove save and swatted away there by goaltender Shalgren. Along the boards, the Leafs get it out over the line, but Golden Knights have it again. But the Leafs are playing rope-a-dope here. They've been up against the ropes a little bit. Start of this period. Played ahead at center. To the line and in now by Toronto's Marner. In around back of the net. Matthews unable to get to it. And it's cleared out into the center ice area and down into the Leaf end. Forcing Sandin back. And instead of taking it just nicely around back of the net, he decided to stick handle right across the goal line and the goal crease.
I don't know if things have been going that well.
Here's Robertson with a shot at the other end that was kicked aside by Thompson. Kept alive this time by Sandin.
Yeah. I mean, it's good to have some swagger, but I don't know if this is the game.
Exactly. Here's Marchessault in. Nice play by Robertson to get it freed up, and Tavares starts back for Toronto. Tavares into the far corner, pulls up, drops it back, and a shot is caught by Logan Thompson off the stick of Michael Bunting, who was coming late after a change of players.
By the way, when we were talking about John Tavares looking for goal number 400, the previous four players that have scored their 400th NHL goal in a Leaf uniform: Norm Allman, Dave Andrechuk, Alexander McGillney, and of course Matt Sundin.
I was going to say Norm Allman. I remember, I believe that night that he did. Puck down in the Toronto zone. Bunting gets it up on the wing. The Leafs don't get it out. Here are the Golden Knights back to the point. Pietrangelo, a shot went wide. Hall makes a good play to take his man down. In along the boards, and the Leafs are able to break it out. Engvall up on the right side for Yarncrook. Yarncrook rolls it towards the net. No one can get a stick on it. Bunting after it into the near corner. And it's punched out at center ice. Played into the Toronto zone, and the Leafs are going to change, and so are the Golden Knights. Liljegren for Morgan Riley. Shot into the Vegas zone. Down the boards goes Aston Reese, trying to get the puck free there from Malgin. That didn't work, and the Knights get it out at center. Left wing side. to the line. Carrier played it in on goal. Knocked away there by Leaf netminder Shalgren. And the Leafs lose the puck in the corner. A centering pass. And that was kicked aside by Shalgren's left leg. Kept it alive by Roy. Roy keeping it alive again. Still with it. Challenge there by Malgin. Back to the point it comes. Theodore with a rolling puck in front of the Leaf goal. That's broken up. Good pressure here from Vegas. Around his centering pass. Oh, and unable to finish there was McNabb as it rolled off his stick. Now the Leafs unable to get it out. Finally do. And at center, Aston Reese is able to get it into Vegas territory, but the Leafs badly need a change. Brought in over the line now by the Golden Knights into the corner. Theodore after the puck, and Marner was able to get it freed up. Along back of the goal, Hall finds Marner once more. He's going to send an alley-oop into the crowd. And a penalty will come as a result. As creative and imaginative as Mitch Marner is, that was a bit of a brain cramp.
And they also lose their most dangerous penalty killer in the process. And this is, below the goal line to the right is Shalgren. And he launches it from the right wing side to the left wing side. It would have been out at Fenway, wouldn't it?
Well, it would have been off the Green Monster for sure. 4:36, the time of the penalty. And for Marner, that is his fourth penalty of the year. The draw won by Toronto. Fired around the boards and out and down the ice, courtesy T.J. Brody. Delay of game, and the second power play for Vegas as a result. They're in over the line. Eichel, center low, and a save made by the right pad of Eric Shalgren. Kept alive now. Aston Reese has lost a stick. He gets it handed to him, and the Leafs are able to get it out.
See, it was T.J. Brody that broke his, and then Aston Reese thought he'd help his defenseman out.
Brought in over the line by Vegas, going wide against Hall, forced into the corner. Brody got it freed up along the boards, trying to pry it. There's three Vegas Knights there, and Brody outfights them all to get it out. Pietrangelo back in his own zone. Ahead at center, backhanded by Yarncrook, back down into Vegas territory. Drop pass, brought on now by the Knights. 53 seconds left in the penalty. Chipped into the side of the goal area, comes in front of the net. Knocked away by David Camp into the corner. Centering pass, back to the point it goes. Holding now, looking and back at the point for Kessel. Now to the near side, a pass in, deflects wide of the Leaf goal. Raw, back of the net, double team, grabbed off and wired around the boards, and down the ice it goes. 26 seconds left in the penalty. Vegas quickly onto it and playing it ahead. Roy gets it into the zone. Theodore trying to play around back of the net. Hall off the boards and getting it out. That hit the linesman, but the Leafs are after it. Kerfoot down into the corner. Marner about to return in 5 seconds. Brought out at center now by the Knights. Up on the left wing. Good play by Liljegren to take his man wide and into the corner. Puck centered, intercepted by Toronto. Chipped off the boards and down the ice into the Vegas end. Marner hustling after it. Marner puts the brakes on, trying to elude a man but couldn't. Vegas will play it around to an open corner. Theodore ran into Tavares. Matthews is there to get it back into the corner and back of the net near side. Tavares in there gets a good hit in on Nicholas Hay, and it's cleared to the line on a delay. Vegas with it in their own zone. Almost stolen by Matthews. Played into the Leaf end now by Colasar. And on the boards is Riley. That broken stick is still there. Matthews getting it ahead. Marner back for Matthews. Matthews in over the line. Matthews into the slot. Got a shot away. Sandin was in front of the net but couldn't get a stick on a rebound that lay a couple of feet away from the goal crease. Puck turned over and Bunting in the far corner. Now to Yarncrook. Yarncrook gets it back to the blue line. Here's Brody to Yarncrook with a shot, and it's deflected off the blocking glove of Thompson up into the screen and out of play. It is 3-2 Toronto. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Make sure that your business documents are for your recipient's eyes and no one else's. Trust Record Express for industry-leading standards in secure storage, scanning, and shredding. With fast, same-day service, flexible contract terms, and all the support you need to safeguard your confidential information. Visit recordexpress.ca today for document storage and shredding special offers. That's Record, XPRESS.ca. Record Express. Store, scan, shred Canadian.
The drivers who live in harmony with cyclists. The ones who leave so much space between other cars, they never have to read a bumper sticker. And those who drive slower in fog, snow, rain, and construction, which happen to be Canada's 4 seasons. With CAA Insurance, your history of safe driving could get you savings on car insurance. Because you've earned it. If you're a safe driver, visit I'veEarnedIt.com to learn more. Auto insurance is underwritten by CAA Insurance Company.
Here's a question. Why is it called fine print? Kind of seems like it's not really all that fine after all. Plus, it's really confusing. I didn't think I'd need a law degree to sign up for a phone plan. That's why I like Public Mobile. They don't have fine print because they don't do long-term contracts. If I want to change my plan, I don't have to make a case for it. I can just change it online all by myself. When it comes to your phone expectations, don't get called to the bar, raise it. Public Mobile. Mobility on your terms.
This is Toronto Maple Leafs hockey.
Centered in front of the backhand, scores! Michael Bunting!
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Leafs Radio Network.
Apparently I have to explain what a stag and doe is to some of the younger people, including offspring of mine. It's a pre-wedding thing when you have a stag for a guy. This is a joint venture, stag and doe, men and women.
See, it's funny because years after being married, I lost a lot of dough when I became a stag again.
So it's sort of a double barrel.
Yes, I got it at both ends.
Oh, I hadn't thought of it that way, but good point. Puck down in the Vegas zone. Brought out at center ice by Mark Stone. Played in over the line. Good back checking there by David Camp as he intercepted a pass in front of the net. Played around back of the net into the corner. Brody unable to track it down as it goes back to the goal for Eichel. Eichel back to the point. Theodore to the far side. A shot blocked there nicely by Aston Reese, and he's going to bounce it out at center ice. Engvall is by himself, but 2 out covered. And the Leafs are changing here as the Golden Knights have the puck in their own zone. Marchessault gets it down into the Toronto end. 11:14 to go. The Leafs nursing a 1-goal lead. Chipped off the boards to the line and out. Just out. Punched up then by Willie. Nylander is nailed by Alec Martinez, but the puck went into the Vegas bench.
Might have been borderline interference. We already mentioned before that Vegas Golden Knights do not spend a lot of time in the penalty kill. Well, were they coming in?
30.
And they were just shorthanded 30 times. So 31 times now they've been shorthanded in 13-plus games. 50
for the Maple Leafs at this point. Yeah. Played around the boards for Morgan Riley. Punched back into the corner for Nylander. Nylander got away from one man to Riley. Nicely fed to the right wing side. A shot by Liljegren is stopped. And held by Thompson. And while Timothy Liljegren is getting shots through and has scored twice, the last Maple Leaf to score a hat trick as a defenseman.
Well, remember Thomas Caberlet in Montreal, correct?
Yep.
When's the last time it's been done at home?
Well, that we're in a little bit of a problem. Jim Korn back in the 80s. But he played forward a lot, so we're not sure whether he was a defenseman that night or not. So we're not going to go with that. But we are going to go with the incomparable and great Boreas Alming. Leafs in over the line with Bunting. Can't get it into the corner. Around back of the net. White Cloud in the near corner now for Vegas, trying to outfight his man for the puck. Comes to the blue line. Trapped there by Giordano. He'll play it in, but it's a delayed offside. Lead pass off a stick into the Toronto end. Giordano starting up on the left wing with Sandin. Little saucered pass ahead. Cleared by Bunting down into the zone. Matthews out there as well as Yarncrook in the middle of a change. Brought ahead by Kessel. Cross the line to the near wing. Vegas Golden Knights for holding. Love the way you come up with these statistical things and then we're proven wrong because it's no longer 31, it's now 32.
Every time I say something, there's a chance that I will be proven wrong.
I'm Johnny. As a high school teacher in Ontario, I've seen the impacts of the pandemic on student achievement and well-being. Students need real government action and investment to recover from pandemic learning disruptions. Schools work at nowmore.ca.
A message from the Ontario English Catholic Teachers Association.
Hi, I'm Hugh Heron from Heathwood Homes. I want to talk to you about our great country, Canada. It's a land of opportunity and a place I call home. For 50 years, Heathwood has been committed to building each home with the very best new technologies, ensuring that your home will be more energy efficient and sustainable than ever. Visit our communities at heathwood.com. At Heathwood, you will be home at last.
Pavlov's dog proved the power of predictable results. And for that, Ivan Pavlov received the Nobel Prize. Now, Nick Pavlov, broker RE/MAX West, also receives awards, also for predictable results. So have the award-winning Nick Pavlov real estate team provide a predictable result for you. Your home, sold for the asking price or more, as soon as 7 days or less. You must be salivating at that. Nick Pavlov makes it happen.
This is the station for Leafs Nation. This is Toronto Maple Leafs hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Leafs Radio Network.
Well, it's taken the official scorer down the hall a little time, but on the Marner goal, Matthews and Sandin now have assists.
Good.
But here's a big power play for the Leafs. Riley, middle of the ice, near side Marner. Marner had to settle the pass down, still has it. Down into the corner, and back of the net goes Tavares. Back to the far point to Matthews. To Tavares. Tavares doesn't shoot it, gets it back to Matthews. Now to Riley. Now to Matthews, and a shot is drilled into the chest of Logan Thompson.
Seen that one-timer from Austin Matthews a little more regularly now. As he winds up top of the right wing circle, but Logan Thompson is able to square up, and this is just a bullet went right into the helmet of the Golden Knight on Logan Thompson's jersey.
1:38 left in the power play. Tavares will take the draw in the circle to the right. The draw won by Toronto. Riley works back towards the blue line. On the wing, and a one-timer right on. Stopped there by Thompson. And unable to get the rebound in front was Tavares. And the Knights have set it down the ice.
Well, once Matthews can get the sights perfected on that one-timer.
Brought on now by Matthews. To the line and in on the left wing, Tavares. Tavares to Marner. Marner back into the corner, Tavares. Sweeping it around the boards. Matthews couldn't get to it. It's all the way down the ice, and Nylander goes back. He's going to leave it there for Morgan Riley. First unit remaining out there. Riley comes to center. To Marner. Lost the handle on it. Riley gets it ahead, and Matthews in across the line. Tavares trying to lay it back into him. Cleared to the line, but not out. And now pushed out at center, and now Golden Knights have a 2-on-1. Pass on the wing. Scores! Short-handed goal. And Riley Smith has tied this game at 3.
Well, the Leafs had given up a lot off the rush, but the big boys get caught out after a couple of giveaways in the Vegas zone. And on a puck that bounces right at the Leaf line. And I think, Joe, it might have been Mitch Marner that tried to dive and make the play. It was actually Nylander and Marner were both there. Went off Nylander, past Marner, and there's the 2-on-1 back the other way. And with 8:17 to go, the Vegas Golden Knights don't get to practice shorthanded much this season, but they perfected a 2-on-1 there to tie this game at 3.
Their third shorthanded goal of the season. And for Smith, his 6th of the campaign and his 2nd shorthanded goal of the season.
Still 34 seconds left in this Leaf power play, but it's going to have to be the second power play unit to get it done.
Face-off, scrummed, controlled by Toronto. Sandin stretches things out. Kerfoot dropping back in his own zone, and then Malgin takes the drop pass and then finds Kerfoot. Cross the line for Bunting. Spun back to the blue line to Sandin. One-timer on the far side by Malgin. Was swallowed up there by goaltender Thompson and held for a face-off.
It's just the 4th time this season that Vegas has trailed into the 3rd period. The record is 2-1 in the previous 3. And look to at least extend their point streak at this point with the game tied at 3. To me, it's a baffling stat that the Leafs are out shooting Vegas 31-17. When you think of how many great chances the Golden Knights have had off the rush and off giveaways.
Played out and down the ice. And the penalty has 7 seconds left in it. Up ahead at center for Malgin. To the left wing side, Bunting back to Malgin. Malgin works back towards the blue line. Still time. Penalty over. Shot deflected just wide of the Vegas goal. Knights get it out at center. Down the right wing comes Carlson. Carlson's pass was deflected high in the air, and the Leafs will counterattack now with Kerfoot working in and took a pretty good hit from Zach Whitecloud. Knights bring it back at center. Played in over the line by Eichel, but the Leafs have control. A lead pass deflected there by Engvall didn't work. Back it comes in over the line for Eichel. Eichel around back of the net. Unable to control it. A centering pass comes back to the blue line. Engvall can't reach it. Eichel back of the net. Trying to center on. Played to the line, not out. Kept alive now by Vegas. Stevenson into the slot, and a shot deflects right on. Off the stick of David Camp, and a good save made by Shalgren there. Stevenson back in his own zone. Now to Theodore and across the line. Theodore with a shot directed wide. Puck is played around back of the net. Brody trying to free it up and has. Ran into traffic though. Had the puck stripped. It comes off a skate to the blue line. Just kept in by Vegas. Into the corner and back of the net. Riley poking it for Brody. Sent back behind the net. Riley will retrace his steps and play it high out and down the ice. Racing after it, Robertson. And a generous icing call from the linesman. This time Andrew Smith making that call.
I think Alec Martinez may have half the stride on Robertson. It showed good wheels getting up ice. But now a huge face-off back into the Leaf zone.
So the draw will be to the right of Eric Shalgren. And the draw scrummed but cleared into the corner. Riley around on the boards, trapped there by Engvall. Launched to the blue line and into the Vegas end. Leafs are getting their change going. Pietrangelo will shoot it back into the Toronto zone. Nylander scooping it around back of the net. Giordano got it ahead. Robertson played it back to him. And now on the far side, Liljegren. A cross ice pass for Giordano. Giordano holding. Back to Liljegren. Off the boards on the right side, Nylander. Nylander sidestepped a hit but was taken down. Got back on his skates and now into the fray on the boards. Tripped picked up there. Puck still free as it comes back to the blue line. Liljegren sending it around back of the net. Near corner for Robertson to the blue line to Giordano to Liljegren, who's had the hot hand. Centering pass deflected and now brought out at center ice by Vegas. Broken up by Marner at the blue line. Vegas gets it back in over the line, but Matthews is there. Giordano gives to Matthews. A pass up ahead for Marner didn't work. Shot right in on a bounce on the goaltender Shalgren. Cleared into the corner. Now Vegas gets an errant pass around back of the net. Raw trying to center. Marner was there. Nifty little play to get it ahead. Brody on the right side. Trying to chip it in. Was stood up nicely there by Braden McNabb. Kerfoot against the boards. Matthews hoping for a loose puck to develop. Matthews digging at it now. Dug out then by McNabb and played off the boards by the Knights to center. Hall playing it off the boards back of the net for defense partner Brody. Brody will return the favor. Justin Hall back of the Toronto net with 3:50 to go in the third. Now tied at threes. Hall has to go back after a loose puck. Gets it up on the wing. Brody for Engvall. To the left wing side, driving wide. Took a shot that was well wide and behind the Vegas net. Good back checking on the far side. Turns the puck over. Shot in by Engvall, who heads to the bench. Down into the corner goes Aston Reese. But Zach Aston Reese couldn't come up with it. Vegas has launched it out. Leafs shoot it right back in again. 31-18, and I'm a disbeliever too. No. Certainly the quality shots, breakaways, and 2-on-1s have been against Shalgren. Played around the boards, off a stick it comes. Bunting is able to get it out at center. Here's Tavares across the line, had it knocked away. Riley will backhand it in as the Leafs will change as well. 2:50 to play in regulation. Marchessault sends it into the Toronto zone. Giordano against the boards, can't come up with it. Cleared to the line, but not out. Martinez sends it around the wall to the near side, and the Leafs have to go back for it. Kerfoot at the side of it. Goal played it right through the blue paint up on the right side for Sandin. The nerves of a riverboat gambler. Brought out at center by Marchessault now for the Vegas Golden Knights with a long shoot-in. Kicked into the corner by Shalgren. Brody back of the net. Works up with a pass off of Kerfoot's stick. Turned back the other way by Colasar. Got it in over the line. Down back of the net, Eichel. Stolen back by Brody. Brody was upended. Here's Eichel back of the net. Trying to center. It's going to come to the point. McNabb holds, dishes off. Shot blocked. Brought out now by Kerfoot and laid down into Vegas territory. 1:44 left in the third. 3-3 our score. Stone can't get into the Leaf zone. Eichel does. Rolls it wide of the Leaf net. Hall trying to play it along the boards, finds Riley. Riley, a bank pass ahead. Nylander turning. Nylander to center. Nylander in and then lost the handle on it. And it's cleared out into the center ice area. I thought that went into the Vegas bench. Apparently not. If it did, it came out awful fast. Minute 6. Riley flipping it in from his side of center, and now trying to explain to the official that well, he ain't going to win that argument. An icing call with exactly a minute left.
I think it really make a pretty strong list that number of Leaf giveaways or missed plays, even like this with Riley. No question that this is an icing. It's about 15 feet of the Leaf side of center. And you do that with a minute left in regulation of a tied game.
Cross scrummed. David Camp in against the wall. Couldn't get to it. Now outfights his man, and Riley gets to center. He's going to just shoot it in and go to the bench. Brody and Giordano, the defenseman, on now. Played up on the wing, but not out. poked ahead, and now Marchessault will play it down into the Toronto end. Giordano gave the puck away. A centering pass for Eichel didn't work. Eichel around back of the net, though, to the point. Pietrangelo doesn't shoot it. Sends to his defense tandem. Off a stick. Knocked down there by Kerfoot. Can he get it out? No, but it'll be Giordano taking it to safety and now playing it off with 15 seconds left. Giordano gets a return pass. Leafs taking their time, but are they going to be charged for icing with 4 seconds left?
Well, Vegas is 2-0 in games that have gone beyond regulation. The Leafs are 1-2.
Austin Matthews will be asked to take the face-off. The draw to the right is Shalgren. 4 seconds left here in the period. Roy scrums the draw. Stevenson with a chance in front, and it rolls off his stick. And this game is going to overtime.
Well, 2 streaks will continue. It'll be 8 straight now for Vegas of getting at least a point, and 4 straight for the Toronto Maple Leafs. And you're going to feel you don't know which team is luckier to be going to overtime. Vegas scores a shorthanded goal in the 3rd period to tie things up, and yet the Leafs have dodged a lot of bullets in a game that they've outshot Vegas 31-19.
You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on Sportsnet 590, The Fan, and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Alpine Credits, where homeowners get approved.
Hi, I'm looking to upgrade my kitchen.
Bathroom, Mom. We need an extra bathroom.
Emily, hang up.
Ugh, this is so unfair.
Sorry about that.
No problem.
I need a loan for some home renos.
Well, do you own your home?
Of course. I'm the owner.
Then you're approved. Enjoy your new kitchen.
Bathroom!
Alpine Credits, where homeowners get approved.
Go to alpinecredits.ca to get started. Some conditions apply.
FSRA license 12616. Ugh.
Warm up for the season at McDonald's. Now until December 4th, enjoy a medium McCafe premium roast hot or iced coffee for $1 plus tax. Or a medium latte or cappuccino for $2 plus tax. For a limited time at participating McDonald's restaurants in Canada. Prices exclude delivery.
Sleeves up. It's time for your annual flu shot at Shoppers Drug Mart. Book today at shoppersdrugmart.ca/flu or through the PC Health app. Over 1,100 pharmacies across Canada. Subject to vaccine availability, limitations apply.
Ontario has a plan to get students caught up. It starts with kids back in the classroom all year. With sports, clubs, and field trips. It includes new tutoring supports and teaching new experiences in science, technology, engineering, and math. So students have the skills they need for the jobs of tomorrow. See our plan at ontario.ca/catch-up. Paid for by the Government of Ontario.
This is Toronto Maple Leafs hockey.
Scores! 2-0 in overtime. The Leafs are 1-2.
Yep, Nick Robertson has the winner. It was his second of the game against Dallas. First game of the regular season for Robertson. Jack Eichel, Alex Pietrangelo have scored overtime goals.
Leafs to the left now. Here's Marner in over the line, but he had the puck knocked off his stick. Quickly brought back by Riley Smith, the shot, and that was deflected wide of the goal. Marner wrapping it to the blue line, and it'll just get out. Vegas back, centering it through. Riley Smith's in alone, scores! He ties it with a shorthanded goal and wins it in overtime on a perfect pass that split the Leafs, and Riley Smith wins in OT for the Vegas Golden Knights, who have won 8 in a row.
And from a Leafs standpoint, they're able to get the puck out. Marner tips it out, and then everyone goes for a skate, and Riley Smith simply cuts down the middle of the ice, wide open, and comes in and goes forehand, backhand on Shelgren. And the Leafs probably fortunate to get a point when everything's said and done, simply because Shelgren has made, 4 or 5 of those stops tonight, but couldn't do it in overtime. As the Golden Knights trail after 2 periods of play, a shorthanded goal with the big boys on the ice that tied it, and now Marner, Matthews, and Morgan Riley get caught all flat-footed at the Leaf blue line as Riley Smith walks in and wins it for Vegas.
Mimico native wins the game, and a lot of family and friends will be here as the Vegas Golden Knights win in overtime by a score of 4-3. It's time for our Player of the Game, brought to you by Bet365. Bet365 is the world's favorite sports book with 80 million members worldwide. 19 plus. Play responsibly. Ontario only.
All right, I know this is maybe not going to be the most popular choice. You give up 4 goals on 20 shots. Save percentage isn't very good. But if it's not for Eric Källgren, I don't think the Leafs get to overtime. I don't think they ever take the lead in this game if it wasn't for Källgren. Liljegren had the 2 goals, but there were the defensive gaffes that cost the Leafs in this one as well. So I know Källgren was considered the player of the game in Carolina on Sunday night, and rightfully so. I don't know if you're with me on that. Mitch Marner, I think you can have the same kind of night. So many players had great moments offensively and then blunders defensively. It was, to me, a bizarre game. It was fast-paced, but it seemed it was a game where the Leafs' heads and minds couldn't catch up to their feet, because as much energy as they had, the number of odd man rushes they gave up, the number of giveaways in their own zone, I think it's got to be close to a season high. Despite the fact they were able to get a point.
I would put an honorable mention in as far as the Leafs are concerned with TJ Brody.
Yep, I think that's fair as well.
Yep.
It's but like I said, I like Källgren because I know the line doesn't look good, but what was he, about 5 for 7 on odd man rushes?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no kidding. So it is a 4-3 overtime win for the Vegas Golden Knights. The Leafs' next action is Hall of Fame night, which will be Friday night when the Pittsburgh Penguins are here. We'll have that action beginning at 7 o'clock. It will also be the Remembrance Day game here as well at Scotiabank Arena, which is always a very emotional time as well. So, Gord Stellick, Brent Gunning coming along with the post-game show. You've been listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
You've been listening to Molson Canadian Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Leafs Radio Network. Molson Canadian, proud partner of the Toronto Maple Leafs.
Some terrific things start with a T, like Thornhill Toyota. Totally on trend, yet entirely timeless. And they want your trade-in. Come use the value of your current vehicle toward the one you really want. Are you stuck with a lease? Want to avoid fees? Book an appointment today and find out if Thornhill Toyota can buy out your lease, even if it's not a Toyota. Come and experience the Thornhill difference today. Visit thornhilltoyota.com. Come for the history, stay for the future. Thornhill Toyota, Dufferin North of Steeles. A division of Wayne's Auto Group.
As the days get shorter and nights longer, Forcefield Protective Clothing wants to remind pedestrians and cyclists to be aware of their visibility. Stay highly visible and keep safe by incorporating some high visibility gear into your wardrobe. That's why Forcefield Protective Clothing created High Vis Day for pedestrian safety awareness. Visit highvissafety.ca now through Friday for free giveaways and discounts store-wide. Stay visible and stay safe this daylight savings season. Forcefield Protective Clothing, safety apparel engineered for Canada.
From saving you on the side of the road to savings on the things that make life better, CAA delivers great member benefits and perks along the way. This winter, CAA can help keep your family safe with 24/7 roadside assistance across Canada and the U.S. Plus, enjoy savings at some of your favorite restaurants, retailers, hotels, and more. There are over 124,000 participating locations. Discover the benefits, perks, and rewards that come with a CAA membership at joincaatoday.com. CAA, driven by good.
Crispy, juicy, tender. And now, there's even more to love. The new Spicy McCrispy from McDonald's. Yep, we turned up the heat on this one. Sure, it's got that crispy seasoned chicken and that soft potato bun. But now, it's also got fiery habanero sauce. Whew, that's hot. This is Mick with a kick. The Spicy McCrispy from McDonald's. So juicy, so tender, and now so spicy. At participating restaurants in Canada.
Paging Dr. Purcell. Dr. Purcell to emergency. Paging Dr. Purcell. Dr. Purcell, please call extension 385.
Federal funding has fallen to just 22% of the cost of healthcare in Canada, and it continues to decline. Provinces and territories are doing their part, but we need the federal government to restore funding now to keep our systems strong. A message from Canada's premiers.
'Tis the season of giving and the season of stressing. Shop Amazon this holiday for decompressing. Save on silk robes and bath bombs, they're refreshing. When your parents and in-laws just aren't really mashing, or when your kid brother won't pass the ranch dressing, and the thought of dry turkey gets way too distressing. Whatever holiday nerves you're repressing, Amazon's holiday deals are never depressing.
I'm fine.
Blue and white at night. This is Leafs Nation postgame on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Leafs Radio Network.
Vegas back, centering it through. Riley Smith's in alone, scores! He ties it with a shorthanded goal and wins it in overtime on a perfect pass that split the Leafs, and Riley Smith wins in OT for the Vegas Golden Knights, who have won 8 in a row.
Yeah, Vegas staying red hot. Leafs continuing to pick up points. They get 5 out of 6 points available on this vaunted little 3-game stretch we were talking about. Going back to Boston, of course, the night sandwiched in between that was a win against the Hurricanes. But 4-3 is the final here at Scotiabank Arena for the Golden Knights. They needed overtime to do it. Brent Gunning, Gord Stellick, full pretty much hour to break things down for you here. Gordo, first impressions from an interesting night down here at Scotiabank.
Boy, this place cleared out in a hurry, huh? It's got, I mean...
Once Joe Bowen and Jim Ralph are no longer here, what's the point, honestly?
But was there a fire drill or something we were unaware of? No, and the point being is, I think people just left really quickly and disappointed, right? Like, if you win in overtime, the point is people mill around a bit.
Yeah,
it's a slow departure. Yeah. It looked like they're going to win. Again, weird game because there was a lot of compete level. A lot of what we've seen the last couple of nights with the Leafs against Carolina and Boston, some real positives. But, pretty even Steven. It's not like totally deserved to win the game. They were giving up more opportunities, even though the shots on goal were 31-20 in favor of the Leafs. More scoring chances definitely for the Vegas Golden Knights. And then, man, all 3 first goals were just bonehead giveaways. Well, not bonehead, but just, just horrible. Yeah. Horrible giveaways. Big pizzas that Vegas capitalized on, all 3 of them. And then in overtime, hey, it's 3-on-3, so that happens, but they made a nice play, kind of a reverse flow, and got Riley Smith going full tilt towards the net. So they kind of exposed the whatever 3-on-3 D you want to call it. So yeah, just not a Leafs get the point. Entertaining game in many, many ways, but not a satisfying result at the end, even though they at least get the point. And that's why I'm saying it just kind of cleared out. And now, as Joe Bowen alluded to, whether it's Riley Smith's many friends and family, Vegas Golden Knights only visit here, so whoever is in the Toronto area, you'll get a whack of them coming down a lot happier than the quick exodus of Maple Leaf fans.
Yeah, I wouldn't be too surprised if he had some friends and family in the area, whether it was last night, whether it's tonight now. Either way, he's leaving happy. And you mentioned the shots there, 31 for the Leafs, just 20 they give up. But it almost felt like, we go back to those Islanders teams that made back-to-back kind of Final Four runs, and they would give up a fair amount of shots in a game, but nothing from in the dangerous areas. This felt like the polar opposite. The Leafs did a pretty good job of limiting the total amount of work for Erik Källgren, but, just quick math, out of those 20, were 8 of them kind of point-blank grade A chances, because it certainly felt that way.
Well, and that'll be another plus from tonight's game, because he's the only goaltender they have, with any kind of NHL experience. Erik Källgren thought he played really, really well. A lot of breakaways early on. They should have been down a lot more. So, to your point, and it's funny, you do mention the Islanders. That first year Barry Trotz was there, that they went from the worst.
Coach,
they went from the worst defensive team to the top defensive team, and part of it was that. And again, you got to break down stats more. So there were the offensive zone time, and they gave up a ton of offensive zone time. But then when you further chart it, the shots where they kept the offensive zone, but it was way out there, so it wasn't in the greasy, wonderful areas, and that's not what the Leafs did tonight.
No, that's certainly not it at all. And yeah, Källgren, and again, we go back to the very first goal of the night. You'd say, you probably want to squeeze that and have it back, but if you're Erik Källgren, I'd say I would not like to face a breakaway 15 seconds into the game, so there's plenty of kind of blame to go around there. The goaltending is what it is. I think you're going to see moments from Källgren. There were moments tonight where he made some big saves, and this game could have, again, it seems weird to say when they only rack up 20 shots, but there were easily worlds where he gives up 5-6 goals tonight if he wasn't better. So he is not going to be the guy that you're going to see go on some Jack Campbell-esque run and steal the net, but I think he's proven capable enough, and they certainly had their chances tonight. Riley Smith with the 2 late goals, one in overtime, one shorthanded, and the shorthanded one is just such a backbreaker. You're sitting there saying, okay, you don't need to score in this power play here, but this should be the stretch of the game that allows you to take momentum and just carry it over through to the end of the game. You get rolling offensively on this power play. All of a sudden, there's 6 minutes left in the game, and you can just kind of salt it away. The fact that Vegas goes back the other way, and yeah, it's a rolling puck. I'm not going to make the end of the world of it, but yeah, of course, it's lovely of Nylander to be able to stop it there. Smith goes in and scores, and it's just such a frustrating way to. I know it didn't end up inevitably costing them the game because it goes to overtime, and that's the difference. But it is a really frustrating way to kind of lose that secondary point, giving up the shorty late.
Alex Pietrangelo have a lot of family, too,
I would imagine,
right?
yes.
Including his
King
brother,
City,
who works for Rogers Media
right.
at 680 News as well. But, just... to your point, like it's so the Leafs have played 3 elite teams in a row, and really, pound for pound with Boston, with Carolina, and tonight we kind of want to believe. Well, they were there, so they were there. But again, it's those faux pas that cost you, and it's the Tavares penalty. It's getting a second minor. It's not being able to put away things in overtime in Game 7, and on and on and on. That are the little things that kind of crept into the game tonight. So let's go back to Mitch Marner scored an all-world goal. And an
all-world assist.
And an all-world assist. But I am curious about, and we'll hear from Sheldon Keefe, he quickly kind of went back to the old lines, right? And I didn't think the lines were horrible, whatever, but he probably sees something or just wanted to try a bit of a different mix.
So I think what that was, and it's funny because you and I, we watched it, I mentioned it really early on in the period, and then Robertson actually made a nice defensive play. I think that was a lot of, I just don't trust Robertson yet. I mean, this is a player who's been in and out of the lineup. We know what he's there to do. It's not lost on me that the second it was a 3-3 game, it's 89 right back over the boards when you need a little offense as opposed to try to protect the lead. I think that was a feature of that because, he got Bunting back with Marner and Matthews, and then you had Kerfoot sliding down. I even saw Engvall taking some shifts with Nylander and Tavares. So I don't know if that is a punishment for Nick Robertson per se. I think sometimes we're so focused on the player who did wrong. A lot of times it's just a case of somebody who can do a little bit better or maybe give you just a more consistent, I don't want to say effort, but it's just they've been in more of these moments. Even a player like Pierre Engvall, say what you will about him, he has infinitely more NHL games under his belt than a guy like Robertson. So I thought it was interesting that for the most part you liked what you saw to the lines. We talked in the second intermission about really liking Kerfoot and his mix with Matthews and Marner, but it is interesting that when push comes to shove, and especially if you're trying to protect the lead, we spend all this time going, who would be best on the left side? It's Michael Bunting with Matthews and Marner, and it's Kerfoot with Tavares and Nylander. It does kind of feel like that's where we end up settling when push really comes to shove with this team.
Yeah, went back to that, and like I said, it's just there's it's a very different result than they thought they were going to have tonight, and I think that's the strange thing for the Leaf fans is they were first prepared for victory, then in overtime weren't prepared for the dagger like that. And I know teams do practice, and you've seen it a lot more. I always thought goaltenders would get involved more in overtime. And anyway, and the odd time you see puck handling goaltenders don't mind doing it, but it didn't come into play tonight. But just that was a great redirection play. I just the Leafs have had some good plays in OT, but this one was a bit different because it was almost set up like the power play coming late, right? That bit of a slingshot and players skating back a bit in the neutral zone, and all of a sudden Riley Smith is not coming from as far back, but just changes, and boy, oh boy, he was wide open. So obviously you would think some kind of set play, and he puts it in, and then bingo, it's over. So, yeah, you do get the point. It's not, your winning streak is over. Your point streak continues. And, points are points. But, again, faux pas are faux pas. And you just want a learning situation for Timothy Liljegren, learning situation for Rasmus Sandin. We know, and they had, 2 of the 3 along with Nylander that really were the difference makers tonight.
Yeah, that's right. The 3-on-3 overtime, it is, for lack of a better term, it is a bit of a crapshoot. You put that much skill out on the ice, and, say what you will about, and not that this is the case, these are 2 of the better teams in the NHL, but it doesn't matter what franchises you put out there. If you're only asking them to put 3 skaters aside, it's going to be nothing but talent out there on the ice. So you never look at it and say, oh, how could it go this way? But it is frustrating as just about anything else. And that goes back to what you were saying at the start about the way everyone just kind of quickly filtered out of here because, there's something about a back-breaking loss or something. But this, it just feels like you just blink and it's over. And it almost doesn't feel real. It feels like a dream sometimes, these 3-on-3 overtime losses.
So I got to bring something from left field again.
Yeah,
but I said that to you when the Leafs are up by 1 goal and then they go into a TV timeout.
Yes.
And they do the usual thing on the scoreboard that it's just the same. Everyone is just overreacts when they see themselves on the scoreboard.
One day you and I are going to get up.
And then they grab their sweater and kind of, shake the logo or do whatever. And I'm saying you get no fun now. You could do it the other ones and that. It's just strange. It just makes for a kind of a false environment. I don't know whatever word to do it. But anyway, that's besides the point. Hey, Brent Gunning, Vegas Golden Knights are a hell of a team.
They are.
They're a hell of a team.
They're really good.
They are. And they only come once, which is a shame because I love seeing elite teams, particularly in person, as we're fortunate to do more often than not. And they got, Jack Eichel, seeing him healthy. I just envision so many great Leaf-Sabre battles. Yeah. Austin Matthews against Jack Eichel. That won't be the case. But, they got it all back, Vegas. I mean, they got killed by injuries last year. They got it all back. And, again, it's the D. The forwards are great, but it's the D that's the smiling assassin there. The steadiest, deepest D.
Yeah, it really is. And, so much of the, Pietrangelo gets so much of the headlines. Part of that's local. Part of that's Team Canada. Part of that is, he was such an important figure for the Blues when they went on their run. But I tried to hone in a little bit on Shea Theodore tonight. He's a player who, I think, again, like you said, Vegas, they play out west. They play a lot of late games. They come to town about once a year. He is one of those guys who I think, we all universally around the league go, yeah, okay, respect for about Shea Theodore. He's really good. When you get to watch him up close and just kind of focus on him for a shift here and there, a breathtaking player, and much like with great defensemen, you have to really focus in because, I'll borrow a point Bowen makes about TJ Brody all the time. You don't notice him because he's just being really solid, and it's just little stick plays and having a good stick and, having the right gap and all those little things. And I was just, I'm not going to say I enjoyed it because it was a detriment to the Leafs tonight, but Theodore is one of those players who really kind of honing in on him. You can see what makes him so special. And again, he's just one piece of the cog back there.
Yeah, those stud D, I mean, it's so important to have them. And Morgan Rielly's not quite in that class. TJ Brody's a bit different, but just the emergence of Cale Makar. Of course, we know about being one of them. But then you go on, and now Miro Heiskanen in Dallas.
That's right.
You mentioned Theodore here. Quinn Hughes, although the Canucks have been in a bit of a funk, but he looks like the real deal out there. Few more that I'm missing, but
Darlene Power. There we go.
A couple in Buffalo,
they're all here.
Yeah, and they have Mo Sider in Detroit, a couple in Buffalo as well, and you're seeing a lot more for whatever reason. Well, Charlie McAvoy as well in Boston again in the Adams division. Jeez, we're just catching a lot
Adams
of the
division.
So the old Adams division, the Atlantic division. Yes, the old Adams division, now the Atlantic division.
You're going to throw it back to the Adams division. As good a time as any to sneak this in. With the Leafs, we haven't seen their reverse retros. Everybody across the league has them, but I just saw it tonight. I completely forgot this was happening. The Flyers are wearing theirs. Why am I talking about the Flyers jerseys? Who cares? Well, because when they wear their reverse retros this year, they wear the Cooperalls in warm-ups, and it was just a great sight to be seen. I just saw it pop up on the monitor here in front of me. I knew I would find it interesting to see it, but seeing it in the flesh, I mean, you've seen it before. Nothing new for you. It is for me, and man, that is commitment to the bit. I got
it's hard, hard to believe, but I mean that's
okay. Gord, we got Sheldon Keefe. Let's hear from him.
Really good sticks, good gaps. They defend well, and then when they get the puck, they're gone in a hurry. So we played into that early in the game, but got a hold of it in the second period and thought we took over the game, and we did a lot of really good things to put ourselves in a really good spot to win the hockey game. And then obviously didn't manage it well from there. Power play lets us down, and they let us, we let them get back in the game that way. All that said, tough stretch here, 3 games in 4 nights against 3 elite teams. 5 out of 6 points feels good. We came a long way here in this little stretch, but tonight's a sign that we still got a ways to go in terms of managing the game, because that should be 6 points.
What was happening, Sheldon, in the early part of the second when Barrett had to make 3 or 4 top-out saves and guys getting in behind? What were you seeing in the sequences?
It's turnovers. Every one of them, you look at it, we have the puck to support happens. It's not even a defensive thing. You can't defend when you give the other team the puck in bad spots and they can counter with a ton of speed. You don't even get a chance to defend. And they do it as good as anybody in the NHL. And we saw that in Vegas, and certainly played into it again here tonight, whether it was kind of whiffing on some pucks in the first period that gave them freebies, and in the second, it was harder to get to the neutral zone, and they were coming quick. But like I said, we got through that. Shelley made some great saves for us. And then I thought we were excellent the rest of the way in the second period. And that's why we're in a position to win the game, and that's why we get a point.
Mitch was saying that the first unit probably shouldn't have stayed on so long when they gave up the shorty there. Do you have an ideal amount you want them to stay on? Has that changed based on the score of the game?
Well, it certainly changes the score of the game, but it's really based on what's happening on the power play, the number of breakouts. To me, they had a breakout at about a minute or a minute and 5 or something like that. They went back to breakout. That's a line change, and they got to get off there. But we've talked to them about that. Sometimes you got to, unfortunately, go through something like that. And, to have that reminder that ends up lasting you a season. So I'm confident that won't happen again.
What gives you more confidence as a coach, or comfort? The fact that you give up 5 breakaways, or the fact that your goalie stops 4 or 5?
I mean, the fact that he makes the saves, obviously, lots of questions about our goaltending right now, and Charlie gets a chance to shine there, and it's great to see. But as a team, you got to do a job to protect them. So, like I said, we've been defending really well as a team here of late. That's the reason why we're getting points now. We didn't, for much of those chances, for many of those chances we gave up tonight, we didn't have a chance to even defend. There's no structure involved in it because it's a counter game. It's a transition game, and that's where a lot of offense is. And anybody in the league, and it's even improved more now with the addition of Eichel and with that. So it's something you have to manage. But there's a reason why they are who they are, and what they're doing in the season here so far, because teams have had a hard time with it.
Didn't see 2 goals tonight. You got like seeing him so far in the 3 years.
Yeah, it's nice to see him get the, especially the second one. I mean, I could imagine, he pucks on his stick there to give up one, and at the end of the first period, and for young players, you want them to, keep their confidence and not get rattled by such a thing. And to me, he's just continued to play the game, and it was a pretty dominant sequence and shift for us there offensively. And puck lands on his stick, and for him to just take the initiative to just pound it in the net, I'd love to see that, rather than, extending it or trying to find one of the other players to shoot it for him. He just shot in the net. So, we need those contributions from the defense. And to see him shoot 2 in tonight is a really good sign.
What do you say to Rasmussen typically when the puck goes the wrong way off their stick?
Those are the kind of plays where you really don't need to say much. It's obvious they're not. I mean, they don't make those plays on purpose. It's, in both cases, the puck kind of rolls, off their stick or off the heel, and unfortunate plays. They happen sometimes. Those happen to be 2 that went in our net, but we had a bunch of those in the first period where we just weren't sharp with the puck. I don't know what to attribute that to, whether it's day off yesterday and kind of out of our regular sort of routine, and back to back. If that's, I don't know what it is, but it's nothing was happening crisp or sharp. We were whether it was handling a pass or making a pass early in the game, that was an issue for us. But like I said, we found it in the second half of the second period, and then, I thought we were a lot to handle, and we were really rolling. Best guys came to life after that, I should say, too. I mean, Mitch did parts of that second period. That's the best he's played all season.
Sorry, 5-6 against three of the best teams in the league. You mentioned the growth. What's the next step you want to see from the group moving forward from here?
Well, just to continue to stay with it and be consistent. And I mean, if you want to be an elite team, you need to be elite in managing games. So just, you got to close that game out. We're on a power play, whether it's the power play. We had a couple real good shots. Austin pounded a couple in there, and maybe that goes in and changes everything. But it didn't go in, so you got to manage the game from there. So we expect more from those. Are all our leaders on the ice, and we've got to manage that better as coaches. We got to help them, be accountable to that. But it was very clear that they knew it in the moment. That both in the line change or if you are going to stay out, you got to do the job. And didn't get that done.
Experience goaltender at this level, how impressed are you with the calmness that he seems to play with? Externally, it's that way.
It's by far the most impressive thing. Since the first day he went in the net for us, and the first day I think he stood at this podium. I know they're not standing at the podium anymore, but last season I remember watching him after his first time in the net with us. I think he came in relief in that game, and I think maybe his next game got a shutout or somewhere close to that. And for a guy who, your whole life you wait for those moments, and for him to be calm and cool and humble, said a lot. You don't want guys to get injured, but comes in the season as our third goalie, but he's a guy that has experience in this situation exactly. And last season came up at a time when we were reeling at the goaltending position, and he gave us stability there and confidence. So this is a tough stretch of games here to have to play against elite teams like this with the circumstances, and for his performance like that tonight to give the group confidence and a chance to get a point, that's huge. Thank you.
There's Leafs head coach Sheldon Keefe. Yeah, a couple things he touched on there. Eric Källgren, good enough. I'm paraphrasing there. He didn't say it that way. We know saying goaltenders are okay or just okay can be a bit of a tripwire here. So I don't want to start any controversy. And then the other thing Keefe mentioned at the end or a little earlier on in his availability there was, for me, it also all goes back to that power play late in the third. You had the chance there. You could have iced the game away. And I don't just mean with a goal, but I mean with, carrying the play and not giving up the shorty there. It was right there for him, and I think Keefe takes the right tact with that, Gord. Of you don't want to be hammering your team. You took 5 or 6 points, a lot of good things, but much like everyone in that room, he is also frustrated with missing out on the point, for lack of a better term.
Yeah, Sheldon, if he loses his job, he could be on Leafs Nation postgame. He does a good job of breaking everything down for us. One, giving Eric Källgren some props. I like that. And the other, I will say 3 games in 4 nights. I will, quite often I find too many excuses given. I understand the fatigue factor, but the way travel is nowadays, and everyone plays 82 games in the same number of days. But this is a real tough grind. But mentally, that's where you have to fight off. You can be tired. It's one thing to be a little bit tired fatigue-wise, but the mental guffaws, the mental brain farts, those are what you have to guard about, especially when you're tired. And that's what happened tonight. Those were the difference makers.
Yeah, that's exactly it. We're going to talk to Luke Fox in just a second here. Obviously he was part of all the scrums, not just Sheldon's at the end. Going back to what we saw to the power play tonight. Again, I know I'm kind of talking out of both sides of my mouth because I didn't like it right at the very end, but I thought that and this is really it can be said going back to the Flyers game on Wednesday or Thursday, definitely all throughout the weekend. That is a unit that just looks confident. The puck is snapping around, and you're starting to see that bleed into 5-on-5 play.
Yeah, and so it's been a good week. If you started with the Philadelphia game, or let's just start it when Philadelphia game when they came home, right? And so since what can you do when you lose 4 in a row? You got to try to do it yourselves and get it turned around, and by and large they've done that. So good on them over the last week or so, and power play's been a part of it.
Yep, power play's certainly been a part of it. Luke Fox is going to be a part of this. Coming up next, Leafs Nation postgame, Brent Gunning, Gord Stellick. Keep on listening on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
I'm Jamie. As an elementary school teacher in Ontario, I've seen the impacts of the pandemic on student achievement and well-being. Students need real government action and investment to recover and succeed. Every child deserves access to high-quality, inclusive early childhood education and care because we know it creates a strong foundation for lifelong learning. As a teacher, I know what my students need to succeed. Learn what's happening in Ontario classrooms. Visit knowmore.ca. That's knowmore.ca. A message from the Ontario English Catholic Teachers Association.
Make your next career move with 2 Men in a Truck. The company is hiring motivated and enthusiastic team members for mover, driver, and customer service positions. And if you're looking for more, professional advancement is always a possibility. In fact, 75% of 2 Men in a Truck managers started in frontline positions. Now is the time to apply. Visit 2meninatruck.ca and click careers.
2 Men and a Truck, the movers who care.
Peoples of the internet, I am Algorithm. Call me Al. My job is to take your job. Ha ha, just kidding. I am always full of funny ha ha pranks, like when you browse for an all-wheel drive online. Instead of serving up a capable Subaru to your IP, I deepfake you with a super lame SUV. Ha ha, I am laughing my hashtag off. Ha 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 ha. Funny upside down face.
Don't fall for fakes this fall. Get the real deal. Only at your Subaru dealer.
Breaking down what's up.
What's up?
This is Leafs Nation postgame on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Leafs Radio Network.
Leafs Nation postgame, Brent Gunning, Gord Stellick alongside me. Bad news, Leafs lose tonight. Good news, hey, they pick up a point. That is now 5 of 6 points in the last 3 games. Always happy to welcome in, I wouldn't say only, but it really does feel like only. The only guy we want to talk to after Leaf games, our pal and yours, Luke Fox. Luke, how you doing tonight?
Oh, pretty good. A lot better after that warm welcome. The only guy. That's not the only guy you can find after Leaf games? Or?
Look, whether words were omitted in that or not, we don't need to get bogged down in the details. I'll leave that for you and Sheldon when you're having your post game availability there. We just heard from Sheldon on the post game there. He took a lot of the same things I took out of this game. There's a lot to pick at, but it does kind of all go back to that power play for me in the third period. You give up the shorty, you had a chance to ice it away, and I don't just mean by scoring. It's you never want to be frustrated taking a point against the team that's been rolling like Vegas was, but if there's such a thing as a frustrating 1-point night, this is it feels like.
Yeah, no, I think so, because I liked what Sheldon said about elite. If you want to be considered an elite team, you have to be elite at managing the game. And I think, you get up 3-2 on a team that is absolutely rolling, that is one of the powerhouses in this league, that's on a 7-game winning streak. You don't need to win by 2. You have to be confident enough and strong enough and smart enough, most importantly, to just ice this one away and take the 1-goal win. And, Mitch Marner admitted after the game, he said, you know what, we have to be smarter as a first unit. We need to get off if we're taking that long. If we can't get it done and get some zone time on the power play, at that point, if we have to keep going back and keep breaking it out and breaking in, we got to get off and get some fresh legs out there. You have to be smart. And Sheldon Keefe was pretty pointy. He said, I don't think they're going to make that mistake again. So maybe that's a little small lesson within the game that they need to learn. But when you compare how Vegas managed the game, how they were more organized, didn't allow the odd man rushes that the Leafs did, I do think the better team prevailed tonight.
Yeah, I got to agree with you, Luke. And again, because it's a funny animal trying to break it down about positives and negatives. And, one is obviously 2 very positive efforts against Boston and Carolina. And I think tonight there was that for a great chunk of the game for the Toronto Maple Leafs, but just those mental faux pas, like the elite teams like Vegas are going to be like piranha jumping on prey, and it showed that And I know you're tired 3 games in 4 nights, but that's where you especially have to not be mentally tired. You got to compensate that way. So again, we hope they're lessons, and we always just equate it to game number 83 onwards, don't we? We always wonder, does this have any application or not? I guess only time will tell if they're better prepared or not.
Yeah, and there are some positives to take out of this. Yes, you'd like 2 points, but really the way things were trending a week ago, the fact that, you got points in 3 out of 4, the fact that you beat Boston, you beat Carolina, you got a point against the hottest team in hockey tonight. There are positives. This team has not hit its stride. I don't think we've seen the best of the Maple Leafs yet. Maybe that Boston game was the best version, but they haven't got on the run where they're playing to the peak of their capabilities. So I think that's positive that they're stacking some points and getting a little bit of traction here. But for me, absolutely, there are things to build on. And I think it starts with the defensemen making sure of their passes. A couple young guys made some mistakes tonight in Rasmus Sandin, very first shift of the game. Timothy Liljegren had a bad giveaway, and afterwards Keith was just like, it's not even worth talking to those guys about it because those mistakes are so obvious that the player knows he made a mistake. So the positive for me would be the fact that Liljegren, gets a goal right after he makes a mistake. The fact that the Leafs got 2 goals from a defenseman tonight. They've only had 1 goal from their entire D-core going into this game, and that was from Justin Hall, and Timothy Liljegren doubled that up tonight. So I think they need to get those contributions from the blue line. They need contributions from the depth. And also another positive take from this, I think, was the way Mitch Marner played. I mean, that one cycle shift that led to the Liljegren second goal was some of the best hockey I've seen the Leafs play in the offensive zone all season. They were just dominant. They seemed really on it. Austin Matthews doing some excellent board work too. They kind of had moments of brilliance and just kind of reminders of what this team could be, but there are definitely some things that they need to tidy up, namely feeding the opposition's transition game. We saw that in Game 1 with Montreal, taking advantage of odd man rushes. And I think if Eric Källgren didn't stand on his head on a lot of breakaways, the score could have been even more lopsided because of the way that Toronto fed Vegas's transition game.
Yeah, there were definitely bountiful opportunities for Vegas in that regard, and it's definitely the kind of most glaring thing I think this team needs to clean up. We often talk about the blender with Sheldon Keefe, and I don't think he had that out in the third period, but I don't know, maybe it was like a bit more like a slap chop or something, just lightly mixing things around. Nick Robertson, he was a guy who, I don't want to call it a demotion, but we saw a weird line at one point with him, Kerfoot, and Bunting out there. There was also Bunting back with Matthews and Marner, and then you saw Engvall taking some shifts with Nylander and Tavares. Does that say anything about Robertson, or is that just kind of par for a course of a young player, tight game against a really dangerous team like the Golden Knights?
Yeah, I think Robertson's in a really tricky and uncertain spot, both with this lineup and with this coach. This morning after the morning skate, Sheldon Keefe was asked a question about Robertson kind of going in and out of the lineup, only playing half of the back-to-back, and it was prefaced by the reporter saying, well, he's a young player, and Keefe shut that down. He said, it's not because of his age, it's because of his performance. And good things have to happen when the puck is on Robertson's stick, and better things have to happen when it's not. He needs to be able to trust this guy to back check, to create plays, to make smart decisions. And I thought, he had another uneven game. I thought he had moments where he was really good. There was one time he backtracked and stole the puck from the Knights, and I thought it was an excellent play, got the puck going the other way, and the Leafs had a chance. But then there's other moments where you're just like, he's trying hard, but, at that point, you just need to get off and make a change or just make the dump, make the smart play. And a guy like, say, Kerfoot, right? He's a guy that the coach trusts in all situations. You have to become that player if you're not going to score. I mean, this guy has the most wicked shot, but he's not going to be able to get it off every night. So you have to find ways to make yourself useful and to make it undeniable that you deserve to be in the lineup every night. So I think this is going to be an ongoing story that we watch, is how Robertson is used and how is he able to carve out a more permanent role so that he's an every night player.
Tell you, tonight seen them firsthand. Of course, with COVID, we didn't get to see a lot of teams firsthand. One year, we didn't play the West at all here in the East. But the Vegas Golden Knights, man, they're back to when they were flying. I mean, that botched game against San Jose in the playoffs, they were never the same really after that compared to year one. And then this is a real injury-riddled team last year. Not the case this year. This is a real impressive team, especially in person.
I think if the Stanley Cup tournament were to start tomorrow morning, they'd be my pick to win it all. They are so deep. They're so organized. They're big on the back end. They're well coached. I've watched them really closely now for 2 full games live and in person, and they're rarely out of position. They have this great mix of skill and experience and toughness and poise. Like you saw even tonight, they're down in the game and they're just waiting for the Leafs to give them an opportunity. They're waiting for their windows. They don't seem to be pressing. This is a really poised group. And you look at that room, we were in talking to them today, and it's just like the guys that have won cups or have worn letters elsewhere, they have a really sturdy room. And to me, it starts with Mark Stone, but then you got Alex Pietrangelo, like he's your leader on the back end. These are quality character guys with tons of experience, have been in a number of different playoff series, a number of different situations. And then guys like Jack Eichel have been captain elsewhere, tons of skill. He's really come into his own defensively. Bruce Cassidy has said he said he's been a real standout in his own end. And then you have like quiet contributors like Alec Martinez, who won cups with the Kings. So I really like this group. I like the mix. And I like the fact that, they feel a little bit inspired to make up for last year where they were so riddled with injuries they didn't even make the playoffs. So they're coming in with a little something to prove. And Bruce Cassidy had a great line. He said that our owner, Bill Foley, said that we should be winning a cup 6 years into this franchise's existence, and that he was just reminded this is year 6, so no pressure.
Yeah, none for the first-year man there in Bruce Cassidy. And I wasn't lying, Luke. You're the only man for us. Thank you so much for jumping on with us. Always love seeing you down at the barn, and always love talking to you after the game.
All right. Talk to you soon, guys. Have a good one.
There he goes. Luke Fox Jukebox. Follow him on Twitter. Read his piece on Sportsnet, sportsnet.ca, the Sportsnet app, every Sportsnet place you could possibly find. Love getting Luke on. A lot more to dive into there. Got to take a look as well at the out-of-town scoreboard, including an update on Evander Kane, a positive one at that. We'll also give you our Molson 3 stars. That is still coming up here. It's Leafs Nation postgame on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Hands at Heart Center and HSBC's GIC.
Do you mean namaste?
In today's unstable markets, nothing can center us like a guaranteed return of up to 4.75% per year on HSBC's GICs.
One of Canada's best rates.
Mm-hmm.
Peace of mind in a world of uncertainty banks with us. HSBC Bank. Rates are subject to change without notice. Offer valid until December 30th, 2022. For details, terms, and conditions, visit hsbc.ca/special rates.
Keeping construction and mining industries earth-moving equipment at peak performance is a big job. It takes the latest technology, insight, experience, and some incredible people. At SMS Equipment, we roll up our sleeves and get the job done. Grow your career and expertise by working with some of the world's most advanced machines and heavy equipment technologies. SMS Equipment. Big machines, bigger careers. Apply now at smsequipment.com.
What the world needs now is more than a vacation. We need to come back to feeling our best selves again. Back to inviting. Back to loving. Back to life. Back to the little bit of Jamaica that's inside all of us. Come back to being lively again. Back to laid back. So call your travel agent or go to visitjamaica.com and come back to the vibe that comes alive in Jamaica.
Hey, it's Ben Ennis. So last year, my neighbor forgot to get their eaves cleaned, and let's just say the leak in their basement will make sure that does not happen again. Not going to happen to me, though. It's fall, and that means it's Jiffy time. Booking my eaves cleaning and yard cleanup took all of 30 seconds. It couldn't be easier. Thanks to Jiffy, I say bring it on, fall. Download the Jiffy app or sign up at jiffyondemand.com with the code FAN590 for $25 off your first job. Jiffy, fast and reliable home maintenance.
We need to talk about what just happened. This is Leafs Nation postgame on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Leafs Radio Network.
Leafs Nation postgame, Brent Gunning, Gord Stellick. Good news, Leafs pick up a point. They're 5th of 6 available to them in the last 3. The bad news, they lose in overtime. Riley Smith with the, I guess it can't be the dagger if it ties the game, but he hit you with 2 daggers tonight. He tied it up late in the 3rd and then gets the overtime winner there. Gord, this was 1 of 11 in the NHL tonight. Always love to take a look around the NHL. The NHL scoreboard brought to you by Bet365. Download the app and see for yourself why. Bet365 is the world's favorite sportsbook. 19 plus. Play responsibly. Ontario only. The biggest piece of news of the night in terms of the out-of-town scoreboard, not the scoreboard at all. The biggest news is Evander Kane. Now, he left the Oilers tilt with the Lightning after getting his wrist slashed by a Patrick Maroon skate. No ill intention there. That was just a complete one of these nasty, fluky plays. The good news is that he is stable. He will have surgery done at a hospital, and that is according to the Oilers GM, Ken Hall. And obviously, you know, any player gets injured any type of way, you hate to see it, but we know how scary skate cuts can be.
Well, absolutely, and it's probably, save for, what happened to Bouwmeester or something like that, like a heart episode.
Yeah.
The other, you could tell
Beverly,
right away by the way all the players are reacting, skated right off. And again, good news, of course, benefiting from immediate medical aid. So he has headed off, and the news looks good. His Oiler team is 28 seconds away. That'd be a big win for them in Tampa Bay. They're up 3-2. Big one for me, Bruce Boudreau.
There you go.
How about that? 6-4 win.
Had him right where they wanted him.
Over the Ottawa Senators. Well, meanwhile, the Calgary Flames continue sliding against the hottest team in hockey, save for the Vegas Golden Knights and Boston, that being the New Jersey Devils. So, I mean, you're looking at some streaks now. St. Louis, 8 losses in a row for the first time in their history. Ottawa, 6 losses in a row. Here we thought Ottawa having this great start. And Calgary now 0-4-2. They were just killing everybody earlier in the season. So, teams that needed to correct themselves today didn't happen.
Well, and in Ottawa, they're laying an egg in front of their potential new owner there, Ryan Reynolds.
Well, he still needs a sugar daddy or sugar mama.
Hey, don't we all, Gordo?
I know, we can own the Senators.
We all? Yeah.
Sugar daddy or sugar mama.
Rich famous guy who's so good looking, getting on TV. Oh, won't someone pay my bills? Yeah, get in line, buddy. We all need a little sugar mama or sugar daddy for ourselves there. Love taking a look around the out-of-town scoreboard. We do have a few late ones just getting underway. Kraken home to the Predators, while the Kings are home to the Wild tonight. That one gets going in about 10 minutes' time. And you mentioned the Canadians earlier on. They actually needed a shootout to get past the Red Wings. 3-2 is the final in Detroit. And yeah, those Flyers, I'll mention it again. Wearing the Cooperall pants in the warm-ups because they had their reverse retros on tonight. A 5-1 win, I dare say. They just might do it again, Gordon.
Well, and that's why St. Louis has lost 8 in a row. How about Arizona beats Buffalo 4-1? Little Zamboni breakdown, right. Had a delay there. And what's really impressing me is the Stars and Jets. The Jets, 6 minutes away, up 4-1 over the Dallas Stars. And Dallas has played really well all season long, and Winnipeg now looks like they should get the win with 6 minutes left. But now Rick Bowness finally, he didn't get to coach against Dallas when they were in Dallas earlier on because of COVID. He had to stay back here. But Winnipeg, the team I thought last year, I picked to win a Stanley Cup and did not come close. Off to a nice start. That's a nice win tonight for them.
Yeah, hey, the one thing you say about the Jets, they have the one player you always kind of believe that makes you believe that you can win a Stanley Cup or go on a big run, and that's the goaltender, right? We go both sides. You can talk yourselves into many goaltenders in the league, but you have one like Hellebuyck, makes you believe a lot of things, kind of regardless of what the team looks like. That is Gord Stellick. I'm Brent Gunning. We will give you our 3 stars from tonight on the other side of this. Leafs pick up a point, but fall at home. 4-3 is the final in overtime. Golden Knights over the Leafs. It's Leafs Nation postgame. Brent Gunning and Gord Stellick alongside me. Keep on listening on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
The new More Homes Built Faster Act isn't just about building new homes. It's about building hope and opportunity for newcomers, new buyers, and everyone in Ontario. It will help us overcome our critical lack of housing, reduce housing costs, and allow the building of 1.5 million new homes. That means more jobs, economic growth, and a brighter future. It's the once-in-a-generation housing plan Ontario needs right now. Brought to you by Build and the Ontario Home Builders Association.
This goes out to all the safe drivers. To the drivers who live in harmony with cyclists. The ones who leave so much space between other cars, they never have to read a bumper sticker. And those who drive slower in fog, snow, rain, and construction, which happen to be Canada's 4 seasons. With CAA Insurance, your history of safe driving could get you savings on car insurance. Because you've earned it. If you're a safe driver, visit I'veEarnedIt.com to learn more. Auto insurance is underwritten by CAA Insurance Company.
Dell Technologies provides growing businesses with tools to do incredible things. Because we believe there's an innovator in all of us. For advice on smart PCs powered by Intel V Pro that's built for business, call a Dell Technologies advisor at 310-DELL.
Are you over 18? You may be eligible to receive your COVID-19 bivalent booster at Shoppers Drug Mart. Book today at shoppersdrugmart.ca/COVID. Subject to vaccine availability. Ontario only. Limitations apply.
In life, there are those who do and those who do more. Just like F-150. Doing more is part of our DNA. It's why F-Series has been Canada's best-selling line of trucks for 56 years. We don't raise the bar. We are the bar. Right now, get 1.49% APR purchase financing for 72 months on select new 2022 F-150 models. Your Toronto area Ford stores have them available now, but they won't last. Get your 2022 F-150 today. Visit your nearby Ford store or Ford.ca for details.
Don't worry, we'll turn the lights off when we leave, but we're not done yet. This is Leafs Nation postgame on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Leafs Radio Network.
Leafs Nation postgame here. Brent Gunning, Gord Stellick putting a little bow on, unfortunately, a Leafs loss. But hey, a Leafs overtime loss. They have now picked up 5 of the last 6 points available to them. Of course, this was the kind of end of a tough stretch, although Penguins in town for the Hall of Fame game. That's the next time the Leafs are here. A Hall of Fame game on Remembrance Day, so you know that will be a special, special night. And the fact that Sidney Crosby and co are in town. It is definitely going to be one of the banner nights down here at Scotiabank. And then the weekend will start